California. The sun is always shining bright. People are smiling, making plans, hiding behind their shades, and you're doing the same. No rain, no flowers, nothing's growing where you're at. Heart is fire, but baby, I bet you're cold without me, even when it's 90 degrees. Without me, I bet that you can get any sleep in that bed, lying awake. Cause I'm not there beside you, keeping you warm and I know I bet you're cold. You're so damn cold. It never rains in California. The sun is always shining bright. But if the sky would open up, you're staying home, you don't get out. You always used to love the rain, but LA changed you. No rain, no flowers, nothing's growing where you're at. Heart is fire, but baby, I bet you're cold without me, even when it's 90 degrees. Without me, I bet that you can get any sleep in that bed, lying awake. Cause I'm not there beside you, keeping you warm and I know I bet you're cold. You're so damn cold. I bet you're cold. You're so damn cold. No flowers, nothing's growing where you're at. Heart is fire, but baby, I bet you're cold without me, even when it's 90 degrees. Without me, I bet that you can get any sleep in that bed, lying awake. Cause I'm not there beside you, keeping you warm and I know I bet you're cold. You're so damn cold. It never rains in California. The sun is always shining bright. I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Do you know how much I love you, wanna see you smile? Where's that happy girl that I know with a heart on fire? I'll do anything to make it fine, but
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog. Even if they implemented some ridiculous laws, this is something that if somebody truly wants to do this, they can still do it. But it's going to take a lot of effort on the vapors' part to actually learn what it takes to make your own stuff. I don't know what the heck happened to the last hour of my life, but it certainly wasn't streamed on YouTube like I thought it was. Restrictive policies block progress towards smoke-free world. Many people incorrectly think that very low nicotine content cigarettes are less carcinogenic than current cigarettes. This risk misperception by people who smoke could reduce motivation to quit under a nicotine reduction policy.
That's a bit of a problem. Someone who specialises in helping people kick the habit is Dr. Colin Mendelsohn. He joins me now.
Look, vaping is a far less harmful alternative to smoking for adult smokers who just can't quit, and that's actually the majority of them.
The road to quitting smoking is paved with candy. Double chocolate clear from TFA. Published in the Vaping Post, we have long-term study. Vaping increases odds of quitting heavy smoking. This is Kenny Thompson, the Vaping Heed. He's got a YouTube channel. He's been on here a lot longer than I have. I'm not going to stop until this is legal and available for everyone. You know, I cover things from all around the globe, but that's because science has no boundaries.
I mean, you know, the FDA and everything will know that vaping is safer than smoking, but they'll have the pressure off the tobacco companies or the states that are on the MSA and all that. It's just a financial thing, and unfortunately that takes precedence against everything. And
all of the things we went through. You just made my day. Just made my day. You made my day. You made my day.
Grab your juice, grab your vape, it's time to get this party started.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog.
Long-term study.
vaping is safer than smoking.
Smoke-free world. Smoke-free world. Hello, and welcome, everyone. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I had some technical difficulties here. I think I need to do something. Let me see if I got this setup activated. All right, ready? Hey, there you go, everyone. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. We've got a little error here in Kenny's signal, too. Let me see if I can fix this. Sorry, guys. We've got a really small budget to try and make this show for you guys, so you'll have to excuse Kenny being in the old-style TV, but we'll do what we can with it. What do you say? Come on, buddy. Hey, there he is. Come on, can we clear that signal up? Look at that. Oh, that's awesome.
Who put me in here?
Sorry, buddy. I ran out of money when I was trying to build this stage and get everything working, so I kind of had to go to the Salvation Army and pick up a TV to put you in.
Could at least get a widescreen.
Well, it is. It's not the 4x3 format. You got a widescreen format this time.
Yeah, if I sound a bit echoey, folks, because I'm in a box.
Well, it's a stereo TV. It was one of the only ones. Deluxe was one of the only ones that actually made a TV that was the new widescreen format and had stereo.
I'm stuck.
What do y'all think about it? Pretty cool, huh? My wife says it's way over the top.
I think we should have a poll to get Kenny out the TV. Free.
Well, we'll have to charge a super chat. You know, if we get enough super chats, we can afford to put you in a flat screen.
Fingers crossed, yeah. You know what to do. Love it, love it, love it.
Hey, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day out there today. I've got a bunch of stuff scheduled for us to be able to take a look at and try out today. We're going to mix up a flavor shock, show you guys how simple it is to take this flavor shock and convert it into a commercial juice. We're going to, as you can tell by the thumbnail, take a look at the Vandy Vape Mato with its stainless steel rope wicking. We're going to do that. We have Coastal Cloud Citrus Peach to try out for today.
Ooh.
And we got an antique armor kit. We did the armor mega before. Now I actually have a full kit, sub-ohm tank kit for us to be able to try out. And
Very interesting. Very nice.
we're going to do our usual random recipe things. And, well, the other thing that I think that we need to talk about is I was watching the AVM, the American Vapor Manufacturers Association, and they're meeting with Dr. Brian King. And I've got some obvious opinions about this whole conversation, and I think that we need to have more conversations about it and see what you guys think. And obviously, you know, me being the kind of person that focuses on news and stuff, I did some research. So he also did another podcast where he talks about this stuff. And so we'll cover that stuff and find out whether Dr. Brian King is actually a friend or a foe when it comes to vaping, tobacco harm reduction. What do you think?
Yep, definitely something to be looked at. Oh, and first of all, guys, I'm sorry I still can't comment and chat and everything. My YouTube channel is still blocked. I am still waiting to hear from them. God knows what they're doing, so I'm just going to go with what it is.
Meanwhile, you can log in on your phone.
Yeah,
on the studio.
Pretty much.
Well, let's see if the other changes that I made on here works. Let's see if we can throw some people's chats up on screen.
I'll have a gun. Hang on a
Chasing
minute.
Clouds and Flavor Reviews. It's been a while, buddy. Glad to see you here. Dusty Country Road. Scott Merriman. William Dobson. Hello and welcome. I did pull out, for William, the 3 banana flavors that I have and went and took a look at them because he asked a question last week on the end of the live stream. Yeah, I'm wanting to know if there was a banana flavor out there.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. Oh,
Yeah. I can
sorry,
comment
buddy. I didn't realize Stanton was so big.
I know. How dare you?
Let's see if we can
How dare
move him a little bit there. That'll work better next time. Sorry about that.
What's
All right, so I took a look at these banana flavors and evaluated them. The one that we used originally in that recipe was the Capella banana flavor, and it literally tastes like banana runts. So I went and looked at the other flavors. I got Flavrz sent me over banana flavor a long time ago. That was one of the first packages that he actually sent to me. And that one is similar to the Capella, but it's got a little bit more of the ripe banana aspects to it. But even that is leaning towards like that same banana runt flavor. It's not so much, you know, straight up candied banana, because it's got some ripe aspects to it. But I have yet to find anything that legit tastes like a ripe banana. Now, the Purellum banana flavor is like a very weak banana flavor. And the ripe aspects of it are more pronounced, but the overall banana flavor is much less, which doesn't make it a very good, you know, additional ingredient. If you were to make it up as a single flavor, you know, and vape just that, it would be cool, because it's kind of balancing the candied aspects of, you know, commercial artificial tasting banana with the ripe aspect of it that, you know, you get when you bite into a banana. But those are the only 3 banana flavors I got, so unfortunately that's all I can help you out with there. John Lynch, hello and welcome.
Isn't that so odd? You've just talked about bananas, right? One of the juices I'm vaping on is the one that you've done. Isn't that weird?
The banana marshmallow custard tart.
No, isn't that weird?
I really love that.
I've literally just got that out the day, and here we are talking about banana flavors. Woo, psychic. What?
Yeah, so we got that was made with the Flavrz banana, and obviously some custard and some marshmallow aspects to it. But to find one that actually tastes like a ripe banana that you would eat, I haven't found one, nor do I know anybody that actually has one that they can say, you know, for a fact tastes like that.
It's a weird one to get banana, like, and it's, you know, it's a strange one to get a good one, or a one.
You have to take into consideration that all of these flavorings that we use are the artificial flavorings that they use to add into foods that we eat. Candies and pies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you make an apple pie, and you get the little packages that are like this. It's basically a fried apple, and then they like glaze it. Even that doesn't taste like the actual fruit. They have to add artificial sweeteners and artificial flavors to that to enhance the flavor. Because once you bake it, a lot of that flavoring goes away, especially if you're trying to add preservatives to keep it fresh for a long time. So,
yeah, like I say, cooking something out you can't lose flavors, you know. Like you say with, you know, vegetables, if you overboil your veg, they go bland, you know what I mean? Or if you don't steam or whatever, you know, it's the same thing.
Exactly. Mrs. Hunky Vape's in the house, but unfortunately her big boss is there, so she's not going to be able to pay attention today.
What a shame.
We're not going to take advantage of that. We absolutely will not take advantage of that.
Nope. We'll just be much.
Pam Spraggins, hello and welcome to the stream.
Oh, Pam.
Her name didn't pop up.
I haven't heard from Chasing Clouds for a long time. Hope you're goody, buddy, as they say.
Yeah, I can't tell last time I saw him on one of our streams. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's go and let's take a look at this presentation that they had with the American Vapor Manufacturers Association, is meeting with Dr. Brian King.
And water vapor, that's it.
Let's jump through this here shortly.
Body, and it's the Tart.
Never a dull moment.
We are a family-owned and operated Pittsburgh company.
Skip the ads. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Bloody adverts. Hate them.
Oh.
All
right, so Greg Conley sitting there.
I would say that at present, we evaluate the merits of evidence.
We evaluate the merits of the evidence presented
in terms of application.
And it's up to the people that are submitting the applications to prove to them that their product is a benefit to the public health when weighed against the risk of spoiled brat teenagers trying the product and potentially someday getting hooked on them.
Wow.
Right? Here's another pet peeve of mine, okay? Here we have the top official of the FDA, right? Regularly conducting these Zoom meetings and these podcasts to answer questions for the public and to talk to the public, right? We know the federal government has absolutely no problem paying $40,000 for an ashtray that goes on a submarine, right? So, you know, breaks into a couple pieces instead of shatters like glass, right? But here we have him in a Zoom meeting, and you can't even give the guy a freaking $100 light to light his face? I'm sorry, folks, but this is the director of the Center for Tobacco Products at the FDA, and he can't present himself professionally in a meeting? Wearing a suit doesn't make you look professional.
No.
But that's not.
He's not very well presented, is he? Shall we see?
And how many of these meetings does he schedule every single day or throughout the course of a week? How many meetings does he have every single week that he presents himself like this?
Amateur. Bloody amateur.
And it really wouldn't take that much to throw a light on that desk wherever he's at. And he can have little portable lights because we know the government has no problem spending our money. Anyway.
Well, no, you know.
And science on the products. At present, we have authorized 23 e-cigarette products.
We have authorized 23 e-cigarette products, right?
23.
No.
Wow.
No. 23 individual components does not make 23 e-cigarettes available for consumers to buy.
Yeah.
I did the review on the one. It's 2014 technology that gives you more spitback than it does anything else. We have the Enjoy Ace. I didn't even bother doing the review on that. Maybe I'll get around to it one of these days. Enjoy is the only vape manufacturer company that's not big tobacco, although they're big enough now to be considered big tobacco. And everything that they've authorized is only tobacco flavors because somewhere, there's this science that he's following that says that flavors attract kids more than they help adults quit smoking.
Mad.
His job is to convince the populace that the actions that they're taking at the FDA are warranted, justified, and helping protect the public health. He didn't convince me in this meeting at all.
Bad, crazy.
Especially when he talks about 23 products. We've got 23 e-cigarette products on the market. No, you don't. You got 3.
Yeah, it's
Products or devices that we have found the net benefits outweigh the risks. And we'll continue to do that. The onus is on the applicants to submit that information, and we're fully open to evaluating that information and making an informed scientific decision.
Look at that face. Does that face actually convey conviction and honesty?
It's all up front, as per usual.
I'm sorry, folks, but I don't believe him. I don't believe him one bit.
Just total little lies, man. It's just all crap. Well, out with that one.
I'm I'm sorry, but I just do not believe him. That look right there, reading body language tells me, well, sorry, that's the best I can tell you. I know it's not what you want to hear, but sorry for your luck.
Yeah, he's talking crap, man. Just all a front, man. All of it's a front. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just spinning more crap.
Do you acknowledge that you...
So then we go into a rant, a back and forth, here's the things that we should all agree on. And from what our knowledge of you is, we're going to ask you this just to get you to once again confirm that you agree with your previous statements that you've made.
U.S. studies, some funded by your own agency, show that millions of people who formerly smoked now vape in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people vaping. We know that already. Is that the best question that we could have started off this whole conversation with? Well, look at that look on his face. Oh, I actually have to admit that vaping is better than smoking.
He's definitely squirming a bit, isn't he?
He's snickering too.
Mm-hmm. An application for a cessation product that's an e-cigarette, they can certainly do so, and we would evaluate that application on the merits.
Once again, we have that same look on his face. Well, we'll get around to it, and we'll, if the merits warrant us authorizing these products, well, I guess we'll have to authorize them. Once again, I don't believe that he's going to authorize them. And you're probably out there wondering, why am I making such a big deal about this? Why am I going on a rant? And why am I standing on the freaking soapbox once again?
Well, he might if you give him a big, massive suitcase full of cash, that always it helps if you can,
That's what the average Joe out there thinks, yeah. But I think he's got a God complex, if you want to know the truth. Because I think that throughout his conversations and his educational endeavors and his 10 years that he spent at the CDC, he's convinced that if you stop teenagers and stop kids from ever trying this, they will never pick up a tobacco habit. They will never get addicted to nicotine.
I suppose that's going to apply for cigarettes as well, then, is it?
Well,
obviously not.
Cigarettes are protected under the law as a grandfathered product. In fact, it's illegal. It's already in the statutes. It's illegal for them to remove all nicotine from combustible cigarettes that are already authorized for sale in this country.
Wow.
They can lower the content of the nicotine to a non-addictive level, but they can't outright ban it or prohibit the product from ever being sold.
I know, but it's not just the nicotine in a cigarette that's addictive. It's the other stuff they put in that you also get addicted to. That's the point. It's the other chemicals that add. It's not just the nicotine you get addicted to. It's the other stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, his work at the CDC got him convinced that if you just simply protect the kids, he's going to save way more lives generations down the road than if he actually takes care and tries to attack a product that is already constitutionally protected because of the laws that Congress passed.
So he's basically saying that this generation are going to have to suffer for those future generations, basically. You know what I mean? What about this generation? What about the people now?
That's what it boils down to.
You know what I mean? What about the people now who want to quit smoking? You know what I mean?
Well, he does in both of these, in this podcast and during the meeting with the AVM, state that if you quit smoking with vaping, don't ever go back to smoking. Stay with vaping.
Right, which is fair enough.
I want to know why the American Vapor Manufacturers Association didn't bother to ask him if somebody quit smoking by vaping, on a big open tank system, how do you expect them to continue not smoking when the only thing authorized are those 3 junk products?
Yeah.
Not that Enjoy isn't a junk vape. It does work. It's as good as this disposable product out here. But what if you need a big open tank vapor with low restriction for you to be able to not smoke, and they don't authorize any of these products?
Yeah, it's a horrible one. It's a horrible thought. That, I mean, like you say, the products that are available, that aren't the best that's out there, shall we say, without knocking them, but they're not the best you can get, even as a disposable device or a closed tank system device. They're not the best things out there, are they?
I love this Oxford device. I love the juice that goes in it. But I couldn't only use a device like this. I couldn't only use a mouth-to-lung device to never smoke for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone in that statement.
No, I totally agree with you.
How many thousands or hundreds of thousands of Americans out there are in the exact same boat that I'm in?
Probably just about every advanced boat. Everybody vaping. Everyone that's vaping on a normal kit, this probably is the same boat, because these are the devices they want to use. So we'll take that away from them.
Granted, there are people out there like my wife that she's quite satisfied with this Max Pod from FreeMax. That is what she is converted to. The only time that she picks up a full-size device is when she's at home and she's not in her craft room. If we're sitting there watching a movie, it's sitting on the end table. If we're laying in bed, it's on the headboard of the bed. But the rest of the time, she's perfectly content with a pod device.
I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of vapors out there who are. You know what I mean?
There is such diversity in the vapor community that the federal government needs to look at all of it and not just focus on prevention for kids.
It's part of growing up, isn't it? We've all been there. You're going to try something to see what it's like if you're curious. You know what I mean? Whether it's smoking, drinking, vaping, drugs, whatever. You know what I mean? It's part of growing up. I don't know.
Dusty Country Road says, I don't like mouth to lung at all. It does nothing for me.
There you go.
And like my wife, his wife likes mouth to lung. And she doesn't like direct to lung at all.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, vaping is an individual thing. You have your individual needs. You vape your device. You vape, your flavor. Everybody, that's the thing. Everybody's got their own individual needs. We're not all the same. We're not all the same standard. We all need to have 6 milligram nicotine. We all need spearmint flavor. It doesn't happen like that. We're all individual. And that goes across the board. Flavors, devices, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And Scott Merriman points out the kids are not buying big mods and tanks. They're getting what is easy to conceal. I think that's their top priority. What device is going to be the easiest for me to keep from my parents and from my teachers?
Oh, they're easy to hide, easy to keep out of the way, definitely.
He and his wife are in the same boat too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's like head scratching stuff, you know what I mean? It really, isn't it? Like I say, I'm in the UK and, we're in a better position than you. So, and I just feel so sorry for you guys across the pond with all this bullshit, basically, that you having to go through. It's madness, man.
It is madness, but realizing how these tobacco control people think, don't think for a second that you're completely safe and you never will have to worry about vaping being taken away from you.
Oh no, I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? It's, our lawmakers change their minds every 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they might just be one suitcase away from things changing in the UK.
I think the
Just
only
out of the
advantage
blue.
we've got is our health system is paid for by the taxpayer. I think that's one of the main reasons why the government are backing it, because they basically pay for our health system. Obviously, smoking-related deaths here are, a cost to the health system. So at the end of the day, it still comes down to the pound, dollar, nickel, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So I think that's the position we're in. I think that's why we are where we are. You know what I mean? If it was private healthcare, like over in the US or whatever, Australia, whatever, I think it'd be a different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
because a lot of EU countries are starting to, implement more stricter regulations around vaping. Some countries are actually starting to ban them. I mean, look at Scotland, right on my doorstep, trying to ban disposables.
Yeah. You never know what's right around the corner, and you got to stand up and let your voices be heard. That's the whole point of covering this aspect of this first. I was just having a conversation with Kenny about, last week we did the Global 20 because somebody said that they miss it. And I figured, okay, well, let's throw some of the Global 20 in there. We got 40 less views last week than we normally do. Which tells me that there's 40 people out there that don't want to deal with this crap. Because they've probably been dealing with it for as long as they've been vaping. Like you and I, but they've probably been vaping for a long time.
I think
So I want to wish congratulations here to Pam Spraggins. 51 years of smoking.
Wow.
And she stopped with vaping last May.
Well done.
That's amazing, Joe.
Awesome.
And there are a lot more people out there that are in that same exact boat with you.
I don't know. I think smoking is weird. It's the same over there, but smoking here is now like getting taboo. You know what I mean? The thing, oh, he's a smoker and all that. It's a thing now, and maybe that's another thing that helps us as well. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a hard one to figure out. Like I said, that SNP Nicola Sturgeon, when she's talking about ban them, then obviously I think she was talking about lowering the age of people being able to make the decision to be transgender to 16 or something. Nobody agreed with that, and holy moly, guess what? She's gone. So some decisions politicians make do cost them their jobs type of thing. So, wow.
But that's what scares me, especially here in this country, because as time has gone on, the perception and the reality about vaping and about tobacco harm reduction have diametrically moved in opposite directions. 80% of physicians wrongly think that nicotine causes cancer. Physicians, the people we go to once we get sick, don't know the truth about it. How can we ever expect the public to know the truth about it?
Well, I felt, like I said, that fed bullshit off the higher ranking authorities, on the FDA, etc., just filling their heads full of crap.
And Dr. King sat there and said, well, they asked them questions about, the epidemic of the teen usage. It's not an epidemic in any stretch of the imagination, not by any definition known to mankind. Right?
But on the other side of the coin, you see like doctors and physicians who are not informed. Maybe that's the way that the company they're working for are having it that way, because obviously they're working for big pharma or they're working for big tobacco, and then their aim is to promote smoking so people they can treat people and sell their drugs for it. So are the doctors saying, well, don't you dare recommend vaping? You know what I mean? Are the hands tied? You don't know, do you?
That's a very good question. Some researcher needs to sit there one day and actually ask the doctors those questions.
Are they actually told, recommend this, but don't recommend vaping to quit smoking because they work for them establishments somewhere down the line?
Or is it that, vaping is just a drop in the bucket and they see the same misinformation that we see when we see on the news and on social media? And The same scaremongering campaigns and the same misinformation republished on countless websites.
Yeah, but they've done a similar thing, about what I think I've spoke to you about before, about a guy who could literally cure brain tumors, through whatever he does, his stem cells or whatever it is he uses.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
They tried to shut him down so many times because if he found a cure that would cost them money. I mean, come on. Really?
Yeah, a corporation's going to always lean towards what's going to be more profitable for them. The damage, the consequential damage that comes along with it is just consequential damage to them. They have a responsibility to their shareholders to make profit, and that's what takes key precedence for them.
Exactly. They put the dollar before health. It's as simple as that.
But here we have a government official who thinks that as long as you stop kids, and he even admitted during the AVM meeting that, he doesn't ever expect no kid to ever try it. I think his threshold is 1%. If less than 1% of them try it, then okay, vaping should be adopted and accepted widely.
The other thing as well is what do they mean by kids? What age group are we covering? Are we covering teenagers? Are we covering children? What we're covering here?
I still think that it's still ridiculous to think that you could ever get to 1%.
Crazy, man.
Because in his definition, it isn't just daily use 1%, because it's already half of that. It's ever tried it should be less than 1%. That is an unachievable goal.
No.
Nowhere in my kid's lifetime will that ever happen. Now, if you set that goal for combustibles and you did everything you can to convert people to a safer option because it's 95% less harm to whoever does pick it up, I could see that goal being achieved. But using the same ideology from back when I was born in 1970 is not going to work. Half a century later, they're using the same basic tactics. And matter of fact, they've gotten even worse at it because they're trying to flip the tactics that tobacco companies used when our parents were born to try and fight against tobacco today. Merchants of doubt.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And those of us that are, passionate advocates out there and try and correct the misinformation are constantly bombarded with people that you can, every morning when you wake up and you open up Twitter, there's going to be certain people that you're going to see spouting misinformation. And there's a group of us out there that are, posting, rebuttals against them.
It's almost like propaganda, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
It is. We're fighting a propaganda machine.
Yeah. And that can be very difficult.
Mrs. Hunky Vape, because she's using the Max Pod and we don't have any salt nic here, I told her, go buy yourself a bottle of juice. She's like, I can't use that other juice. It doesn't give me enough nic and it doesn't have enough flavor in it. I says, well, when we get some salt nic, I'll formulate you your juice. That's not a problem. But until we get salt nic, I'm not making 30% flavoring in liquid.
Ooh. Ouch.
Because you're not going to get the nick you want out of it, so it's just going to be a waste of the bottle anyway and a waste of the flavorings. So she went and picked herself up. She left work on her break, went down around the block to a shop and just spent $53.
Wow.
On 2 30 ml bottles of liquid.
Holy shit, that's expensive. Fucking hell. Wow.
Yeah, especially when I can get a liter of salt nic for $100.
Just think how much of that $53 actually tax. Probably 80-90% of it will be
40%
tax.
of it. Plus that she's in Pittsburgh, so you get another 10%. So half of that is tax.
Wow.
Which, if you belong to the Discord server for Hunky Vape, Flavrz posted in there their latest revelations that they've come to find out. The TGA has been talking and having meetings with politicians, and they're coming up with some formulations on how to legalize vaping and get rid of the prescription model. Well, they're going to do it, but they're going to do it the same way Mrs. Hunky Vape just paid.
Through
All
high
vaping products are going to be taxed like cigarettes. There's your legalization, but
I think that's the tactic they're using over here in the UK. Anybody who's smoking, they're just hiking the taxes on cigarettes. So basically, you just can't afford to do it, basically. But again, black market will thrive.
Yeah. Definitely going to.
Crazy, crazy world. I don't know.
Well, as you guys read across the lower third that was up there, you see what his priorities are. And what he dismisses as not even on the list. Yes, he doesn't want adults to go back to smoking if you've already quit smoking with vaping. But his priority is for the kids, including educating the kids and indoctrinating them. Despite the fact that there's already been scientifically proven that the studies that, or the campaigns that they run for kids bleed out to the adults. And the adults aren't quitting like they could if the truth were told to them. But to see, the problem is their method of dealing with the kids is to give them merchants of doubt and disinformation to scare them away from trying it. And that's diametrically opposed to what they need to tell adults. Because see, the kids already know that. They already learned that part. So now they need to unlearn that part by getting them scared of it. They're in a catch-22 situation, because if they tell the adults the truth, then that's going to totally ruin their campaign for the kids. That's the reality where we stand today. So anyway, there's a link in the bottom of the description for this video if you guys want to check this out. If you click on the link inside the Chest podcast article, you're going to be met with this. So I will be updating it to give you the actual link for the piece that Dr. King published. If you want to read that and get infuriated by the fact that he doesn't acknowledge what needs to be acknowledged. And like Vaping 360 covered, Dr. Brian King doesn't say much that we haven't already heard and we didn't already know. Learned absolutely nothing watching this meeting with the AVM. He talks more like a politician, even though he says he's the least bureaucratic bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. Yeah, he may not be a bureaucrat, but he's a good politician, and that today's day and age makes you a good scientist. Because as a scientist, you're going to study what gets you funding. And he works for the FDA, and what's going to get the FDA funding? Well, not actually tackling the real problem. Fortunately, as time has gone on, people learn the truth about vaping. And even for kids, the total nicotine usage today is lower than it's ever been. Total nicotine usage is 11.7%, and combustible smoking is less than what, 1%, 3%? But let's focus on the real facts.
That's crazy. Unbelievable.
The real fact of the matter is 31 million adults in the United States currently smoke cigarettes. Those are the people that we need to deal with. Not the 2 million kids that are experimenting with them. There are 31 million adults in the United States currently smoking. More than 16 million Americans live with smoking-related disease and will die from it.
It's fact.
Current cigarette smoking is 12.5% of the population, of the adult population in the United States smokes. We just saw from the previous slide. Teen usage is 11.7%, which fuels their fire saying, oh, our educational campaigns are effective because there's less teen smoking than there are adults. But you don't look at the numbers. 31 million compared to 2 million. 31 million that are going to continue smoking, continue to die from it, versus 2 million that try it. Maybe 100,000 will use it, and they're using a product that is 95% less harmful than actual cigarettes. They're more likely to die of a car accident than they are to die of a nicotine addiction that they pick up.
And the day that 31 million is the big cash cow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
They've got bigger problems, and they're ignoring them. 15% drink alcohol. 12% use illicit drugs. 11% smoke marijuana. 11% vape. Less, greater than once a month. Infrequently. We've seen all these.
It's just the numbers speak for themselves, really, don't they?
I'm sick and tired of Congress using the FDA like they're playing whack-a-mole, when all Congress needs to do is walk behind the machine and unplug it. Deal with the cigarette smoking, not all this other inconsequential stuff.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, my teenage children, I'd rather try vaping than smoking. You know what I mean? If they had the choice.
Finally, do have some good numbers that came out of it, though. Dr. Charles Gardner posted this on Twitter. 5.6% of 258 million adults vape nicotine. That is 14.5 million vapors in this country.
Still a lot. Still a lot.
But these are the vapors. These aren't the cigarette smokers. There's 31 million smokers that could be converted into vaping. And for those of you that are in business, if you can get the FDA to give way and authorize these products, that's some big money.
I mean, you think about it. You convert 31 smokers to 31 million vapors. Wow.
That's 45 million nicotine consumers out of 330 million adults.
Exactly.
But they will all reduce their harm 95% from what they were doing before.
Absolute madness.
Never a dull moment. That concludes our discussion at the beginning of the show.
Rant.
Yes, it is a rant. However, that also means it's now time for our flavor explosion. And up for today, I've got my cup. My wife made this. For those of you that don't know, some American folklore.
I've got
I can't say it's folklore. That's Rip. On the cup, it says, you need a ride to the train station?
I've got
and inside of it, it is keeping my Mike's hard black cherry lemonade ice cold. It's literally been sitting here for an hour.
I've got something new today. I've got something totally new today.
Let's see what you got today.
You're going to love the name.
Hobgoblin Ruby.
Hobgoblin Ruby. Apparently, it is a distinct beer with a sweet caramel and fruity aromas teased to the taste buds. There you go. It's a delicious full-bodied toffee flavour and fruity finish of figs, raisins and dates. Drink legendary. So this is a total new one for me. I thought, every week he comes up with some weird and wonderful drink, right? And I thought, I'm not going to be left on the fence here. So I went out and hunted one down that I've never tried before, and so we're going to go for it this week.
Cheers, mate.
To your health, sir.
Wow.
Ooh.
The pucker factor on that, holy cow.
Ooh.
Hard cherry lemonade.
Ooh.
Holy man, it is that good. And for those of you that don't know or aren't familiar with RIP, you need a ride to the train station. That comes from Yellowstone series that we've watched to the conclusion, and I'm now watching the 1923, which is his grandfather's original quest there. I'm telling you, man, fantastic series. And RIP, talking about going to the train station, isn't actually about the train station. See, when you have a problem, and you're out in Wyoming, you're in a ranch, and you got some problems that you need to deal with, and, well, accidents happen. You're not in the desert, you can't bury them out in the desert, so find yourself a nice cliff, and that is the train station. It's where they take all the people that accidentally died, and they get lost over a cliff.
William Dobson has said, I'm still out of focus, but he says, sorry, that's his natural look as his Newcastle supporter. Well, it's all news. We did lose the EFL Cup final there the other day. We got beat 2-0. So, yet another year without winning silverware up to now. So, but yeah. That's the wonderful world of football, mate.
Let's take a look and see what everybody else is talking about. Dusty Country Road says, here in Ohio, $10 tax on a bottle of e-liquid if you buy it online.
Oh.
Yep, shops are supposed to sell it with the tax already applied. They're collecting that tax. And actually, in Pennsylvania, it's the distributors that have to collect the 40% tax here. Kids certainly aren't mixing their own juices, so why attack on mixing supplies? Well, technically, they haven't attacked mixing supplies. It's not been a priority for them. But the nicotine is the one that I'm worried about. I've got my freebase in a freezer. I've got enough to last me the rest of my lifetime, especially now that my wife's using Salt Nick. And we're going to order some Salt Nick here shortly, but are we going to have to stock up on Salt Nick too?
I don't mind salts myself. I think it's, I would say I'm probably more towards that now. But I mean, I still have the odd freebase. But I mean, I'm very, very more salt. Just for the smoothness. If anything, I think like I'm getting to that point where I don't need such a massive throat hit like I did with the freebase when I first gave up.
I love that throat hit. But that is one of the reasons why I can't, strictly go with a mouth-to-lung device like this. Because it has no throat hit whatsoever. 50 milligram, and it's still no throat hit.
I was like that when I first Googled. That's where it was. I needed that throat hit, but now it's not so much.
It's a possibility when I get to, be as smoke-free as you are, then maybe I'll change my tune on it.
I've got a slight few years advantage on you age-wise anyway, so...
And as a non-smoker.
Even though I look young, I know. But everybody says I don't.
Speaking of looking young, I'm thinking I might need to go back to a goatee.
Well, I had mine trimmed last week, and boy, did he trim it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, got to make it even. I had that same problem when I first started growing it out.
But he went to, I got the Turkish. I went to take a Turkish barber. It was brilliant, honestly. I says, take my hair off and just profile it, just trim. I just want the shape. Yeah, no bother. Bloody.
I'll tell you what, though. I watched the replay last week, and remember I showed you that reflector for the light?
Yeah.
My belly's hanging out, and I'm like, that ain't the first time that my belly's been hanging out. I went to that rally in Pittsburgh, took a picture with Greg Conley, and there's my big gut hanging out from underneath my shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't be sitting here advocating for tobacco harm reduction as a way of improving your health looking like that. I mean, it's not good for my health. I need to improve my health, and that's one of the first things I need to go. Part of the problem is the fact that because of COVID, I constricted myself to starting this channel and focusing on this. And I've been going so bull headstrong into developing things, just like, I spent all last week making that crazy scene that we were just in. And, automating the bumpers that come on and automating all this other stuff. I think it's time for me to actually focus on improving my health beyond just not smoking. So I started another YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded any videos yet, but I'm going to start another YouTube channel. It's Hunky Health. I already registered it. I'll drop the link to it in the chat. If y'all could go over and hit the sub button, I would greatly appreciate that. But I'm going to document my journey to improving my health, lowering my weight, and basically just starting to exercise regularly. I mean, I don't get out of this house hardly ever. Unless I have a service call or, going with the family somewhere, I don't go anywhere.
But do you not think that's kind of like a circumstance of the COVID? Do you think it's not turned a lot of us that way anyway? Because we realised that when we were in lockdown and all this, that we could still pretty much function from home. Pretty much. It was just kind of like, well, let's crack on with it. Continue. I think it has. I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I think it has made me more lazy. If you know what I mean. It's, because we know we can function without leaving the house. We can still work from home. We can still do this from home. So, it's could it be, an after effect of that? You don't know, do you? I mean,
William Thompson wants to know if we're going to get to see Hunky Vape on the treadmill. No, I don't have a treadmill, nor do I have room in my house for a treadmill. I took up the only free room in the house to make this beautiful studio here. So what you're going to be seeing is me actually go outside, go for walks, and find ways to exercise without having to go to a gym.
Well,
my wife has a membership to the gym, but
please don't do a Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump?
Well, you just decide to go for a run one day, and
not
39
stop.
days or 4 months later, you've got a beard down your knees. You're in the middle of the desert.
No. No, I'm going to document my journey to a healthier outcome, and
good on you, mate. Good on you.
It's going to be common sense stuff. I mean, it's not going to be anything. Not going to be doing massive weightlifting and all this other stuff. There's going to be stuff like that involved in it, but I can show you. I'm going to show you guys, how I'm going to be going to the park and using just the basic things that they already have built at the park for you to be able to do basic exercises. I did some calculations and I installed Google Fit or something was the name of the app on my phone. And it basically just is a built-in step counter. I take my phone with me everywhere I go. So I figured, at least find out how many steps do I take on an average day. So I set myself a goal of 250 steps. I only beat it 3 days out of the week.
You'll piss that, man. Chasing Clouds is shooting off. Thanks for popping in, matey.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
No, I've got one of them.
Healthy food and healthy lifestyle.
You sell a pit watch or a step counter watch. That's brilliant. That helps you all the time. That's what I've got.
My wife has one, and she does, thousands and thousands and thousands of steps.
Same here.
I can't believe how much it was. But the thing that really got me thinking about this was me, because I don't do any real walking other than up and down the steps to make coffee or whatever, or let the dogs out or finish my day. Because I focus so much time on here, and even my business, I do everything remote on the computer. So I need to dedicate a little bit of time every single day, go for a walk, and do some basic things, because just the fact that I didn't do more than 250 steps most days means I only burn about 1,400 calories a day. And I'm like, I don't understand. I only eat one meal a day. Why have I gained so much weight? Well, that's why. I'm one of those people that cannot really sit still. My wife's always going nuts. I've always got to be fiddling about with something or doing something. So my wife is the same way.
You know what I mean? But I was your average 10-stone weakling. I was never ever big at school. I was always thin. I was one of those people that could eat whatever I wanted, and it just went straight. So it was like a Porsche type of thing. I never gained no weight. It's only me later years where I've actually gained anything. And it's just a kite, like you do. Everything starts to go south, doesn't it? So
William Dobson, that's exactly what I did. And like I said, I only met that goal of 250 steps 3 days out of the week. That's pathetic. So it's no wonder I piled on the pounds.
If you've got a local park, or just do a bit of walking in the park, or take the dogs out.
We do. So I've got the camera that's set up out there by the door. That's the whole reason I set up a back one there, so I can easily disconnect it, reconnect it, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna film it, and I'm gonna upload it to the channel and document my actual weight loss journey. So we'll see how it goes.
But you can add to it, you can obviously video your surroundings, the scenery and all that stuff. People like to, see all the nice walkings and all that stuff,
And the other thing that I want to do is I want to get myself a drone, get the FCC Part 107 thing done so I can actually use it for legitimate purposes on YouTube. But something to do recreationally is something for me to be able to enjoy, just to get out and about more often than I do. So that's all that stuff's going to end up on that channel there. Plus, obviously, if it ever gets to the point where that channel's monetized, there's a way better chance of it actually paying off in the long run than all the content I make on here. I don't care how many videos I do, how many news stories I do, how many mixing stuff, how many product reviews. I will never make any real money on this channel.
No, it's finished on YouTube later, man.
And shit is expensive.
Yeah.
Cheap cameras that I've got are $700 a piece. I want to get another desk here. It's $350 to get the same desk that I have now, but it's just the one side.
But this is it. People don't realize, the amount of money people invest in this stuff. You know what I mean? It's not cheap at all.
So, if I want to stay on YouTube and I want to do this full time, I got to do more than just this. So I can do one video a week on that channel, do this live thing here, plus whatever reviews I have. Speaking of which, I'm finally convinced myself that I am going to do the review for the Smock Mag 18. I'm going to get past my bias of not having temp control and accept that as a good thing, because most people really don't want it.
You'll find that temp control it's probably more your die-hard users now. I don't think a lot of people use it as much now. I mean, it's still there. But
most people don't use it. The only reason I was so hard pressed on the subject is because when I got the RBA deck for it, I couldn't get a good vape or maximize the vape using a standard coil with wattage, because it would get to the point where it's too hot and you just get a junk vape out of it. It wasn't getting any, dry hits, but I put stainless steel coil in it, put a big 4mm stainless steel coil in it. Now the airflow is exactly like I liked it. I got the flavor I wanted out of the vape, but I needed temperature control to make sure it didn't scorch that cotton. So because of that, I was so focused on needing temp control.
Speaking of 4mm coils, have a look at them bad boys. I've got some staple staggered fuse clappings in there. I'm sorry it's not doing you justice with this lighting situation, but them are 4mm staple staggered fuse clappings in there. They're coming out at about 0.38 to 0.4, and I've got them in organs. But I've got the stack.
Bonsai. Oh, I could never get my hands on a bonsai.
And I've got the stack, and what I've done, I like kind of customized mine a bit because mine was all black. But
that looks fantastic.
I polished this little beauty ring.
Copper.
I took some of the paint off here because this was all black. I took some of the paint off there. It still left the outline of the pattern, but it's copper background. And I obviously polished the cap up a bit as well, and I think it looks bloody good.
That looks fantastic.
It's bogus, yeah, but you can see I bought the stack, obviously the separate, the stack system, and by God, this is good.
Man, I bet you were chuffed to bits when you got done polishing that up.
Oh, but that's not all. I've also found me little brother, which is this fella. Now it looks nice, but for all you haters out there, this is a clone. It's a broadside clone, tube, and a Kennedy clone on the top.
Wow.
But it vapes very well.
That's what matters in the end.
It's fantastic. But this is one of the hardest hitting mods I've got, to be honest with you. It's really, really, really powerful. And it's
that is fantastic.
So I've been out cleaning a couple of the old mechs up the day.
Maybe I'll have to pull out for next week and do an actual mech tube. I got one I bought for the Vape Apocalypse.
What have I got on this one? This is I've got the banana that you've got in here, and I'll tell you what it is. I don't know what it is, right? I've always been a big believer in the RDAs, but when you put something like that in a tank and you think, yeah, that's nice, and then you drop it in a decent RDA, it's just night and day. The difference is night and day, honestly. It's fantastic. Although, RTAs and tanks and all that have come a hell of a long way, technology-wise. They're almost simulating an RDA for flavor-wise, but they still don't beat it. I'm sorry, but it's just, it doesn't happen.
There's certain aspects of the airflow that are impossible to achieve with a tank.
Especially this is bottom, it just comes straight up, and it's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, if you like your flavors, get RDAs, you know what I mean? They're fantastic, honestly. And the cloud chuckers as well, apparently. This is going to knock me on my arse, but never mind. Wow. Can you see me? That is lovely.
That is unbelievable.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
And I bet there's hardly any restriction to that airflow whatsoever.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, if you're familiar with the Kennedy depth, it's like two tubes that'll just come up, and they're just directly under the coil. There's nothing. It's just pure. There's no mesh, no nothing. It's just whack. Brilliant.
Yep, it's just a matter of, how high up from that tube opening for the airflow do you actually place your coils?
Yeah, but you line it up with the airflow. Like you see the Kennedy, when you take that off, that's a solid cap. There's no air holes in that. Your air holes are here on your mod. That's where your air holes are. So they go in there and they come directly underneath your coil. You know what I mean? So there's like two little tubes. They look like little drain pipes. I mean,
up a little higher.
You obviously can't see them, but that's why I like this, because you can take this top cap off drip and you've got a fanny on with your airflow. When you put it back on, you just fucking snap it back on in a way you can. Brilliant. Shame Kennedy weren't still going. Honestly, they were absolutely fantastic manufacturer of stuff,
Yeah, AVM even asked, Dr. King about that. He's like, all these businesses have gone out of operations because of these regulations.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're not against businesses. We're not against businesses. And Mark Sliss even asked him, he's like, listen, I'm a business. In order for me to be able to continue operating the store, I need to enter into contractual obligations. Are you going to authorize any product on the market with flavors? He's like, well, if it's up, the burden is up to the manufacturers. If the manufacturers submit the things, then we'll have to approve it.
Yeah. Well, this guy here, I've put to the side. This one's like the stable staggered. I've put this guy to the side for when we do a taste of you know what I mean? We've got a taste one, you know. So that's where that's going when we do it. That's going to be like.
I have been plowing my way through. We made this. The banana graham buttercream cake.
Ouch.
On episode 7. This is the one that the top of the bottle had leaked all over my hands whenever I mixed it. And it turns out that the threads on here has a crack going all the way down the side. So this has been a royal pain in the wazoo when I go to fill up the tank. I need to turn it so the crack lines up with the juice well on the top and then just gently squeeze it so it fills inside the tank and fills that well and then drains down in on the other side where the air hole is.
I would have just poured it all out into another bottle and binned the bottle. Simple as that.
Well, the bottle is definitely getting binned, but I'm like, oh, it's only gonna take me 2 or 3 days to get through this. But honestly, because of how much of a pain in the wazoo it is, I'm gonna finish that off later today. But it's lasted a lot longer than I thought. And there's that one from last week. I'm totally enjoying going back to the blue raspberry in this one.
Very nice.
That's the reason why it's the OG. And obviously, I've got this going on here. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I've been so focused on OBS and building all these things and then automating them that this week I'm going to focus on doing that review, and I'm going to be setting up a contest to be able to give this and a bunch of other stuff, flavors away. I've got bunch of duplicates. I got some one-shots here. They're all going to be included in that. I got premix. Nothing is going to have actual nicotine in it, so you'll have to do your own nic if you want to set it up at your own strength. But I've got a bunch of stuff here. I've got spare coils, and we've got the X-Slim. We also got the X-Slim C. There's spare coils for that. So I'm going to clean all up and include that in the package. You guys will be seeing that posted somewhere on social media and also on the website. And all you have to do is basically go to all the social media links. You click on it, you follow it, you get 10 chances to enter. I'm going to leave that contest going on for a while.
Where are you? I'm going to go. I want to do it.
But, you know, I've been talking about doing this for a while, and now it's time for me to finally get around to doing it. I was going to do it for my 1,000 sub thank you video, but I never got around to making that. So I've also got a bunch of flavors besides the one shot. Cheesecake and spearmint. These are duplicates. I'm going to throw that in the bin with all those other things for the giveaway. Time I give back to the community, since the community has been so generous to me.
Without a doubt. And like I said, the flavor stuff, you know, it's not because he sent with stuff. It is generally pretty damn good juice. It's really nice stuff.
Yeah, so you guys will get to try it for yourself and, you know, give some feedback on what you guys think of it once you've had an opportunity to try it.
That's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yep, and I've also got some extra retro vape stuff that I've got. Some of the stuff I bought, 5 or 6 of them, just different colors. So I'll throw some of them in there. It'll be a nice little box that's going to go away.
Yeah, make sure you give them the pink as well, please.
I saved that for my best friend. There you go. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I love it. I've been using it, mate. It's fucking little. Only in the house, though.
Well, sir, I think it's time for us to move on to our retro vape. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to do our Vandy Vape Mato.
You know what it is? I like the look of them, but I never ever got around to getting one because I was interested in that like rope wicking system.
I've got the German 103 team made one.
Yeah.
That's got some, and I was quite impressed with that one. And I saw Vandy Vape made one, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to order that. Well, I ordered it, and as soon as it came in, I threw it into the bin with the other stuff, and I totally forgot about it.
I've been meaning to get a device with that wicking system in because like I've heard good reviews on it, like, but I've never actually tried it myself. It's an impressive looking bit of kit, actually.
Old school RDTA. Nice, tall, looks just like the pictures.
It's tall, isn't it? Obviously, yeah.
When did you ever see a tank that already had?
That's so cool.
Oh, that's not coils. That's the airflow. Yeah. It's a honeycomb airflow. I'm like, wait, it does look like coils.
It's really good.
That's the honeycomb airflow. Pull this out.
Looks so cool. What a nice looking. It is a nice looking thing.
Let's take a look at the rest of the box. They do include a coil. There we go. Triple fuse Clapton, 28 gauge times 3. And that is wrapped in.
I do like that
six.
when they put the information on with the coils. I think that's a brilliant.
I love when they do that.
Yeah.
3.5 millimeter inner diameter.
You know exactly what
so
you
it's
get.
a nice, big, chunky coil.
Yeah. It's just everybody should do it if they include with the. You know, what does it take to print a label? Nout. You know what I mean?
Nope. And there's the wire ropes for the wicking.
Wow, look at them bad boys.
Four 2.5 millimeter. And then we have 5 3 millimeter stainless. Wow. 2 different kinds of wire rope.
Ah.
Then you get your peripheral pouch. Spare O-rings, A10 to 510 drip tip adapter. You have a squonk pin, squonk tube to replace the center. That's pretty neat. Coil cutting tool. You can see it's marked. 7 millimeters. And you've got your usual fold-out instruction manual. They can toss this in. They sure as heck can print the actual information about the coils on the packaging.
Definitely. There's plenty there, like plenty of stuff there.
Yeah.
Nice looking tank.
As usual, they put a sticker on the bottom to protect your mod.
Yeah. That's a good idea then. Stops you scratching your mod to hell if you got pain.
Yeah, if you're that picky about it. cage comes off. Got an O-ring on the inside there. Got an O-ring on the bottom of the threads.
You drop your wires, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a big, this comes from the top. So they brought a one out, didn't they?
Yep. And then there you have silicone for your fill hole.
What's the tank capacity on that one? Is it 4 ml? 5?
This is the one thing I didn't do the research on before the stream to figure out which one it was. I just picked this out yesterday.
Foldy out the instruction folders, Jesus.
And I'm trying to read it in Russian. That's not going to work. There, English. Triple fuse Clapton coil, 0.26 ohms. Pull out the airflow cap. Install and adjust the coil. Install the cotton. Refill. Assemble. No specifications listed.
Very odd. Very odd.
Why are there two different kinds of stainless steel for wicking?
Is there a diameter difference at all? You know,
yeah, one's 5 millimeter. The other one's 4 millimeter. 4, 2.5 millimeter, or 5, 3 millimeter.
Maybe the larger ones suck up more juice. So, you know, I'm only guessing. Like I say, I've never ever used one.
Like I said, I used the Brunhilde one, but it only came with one.
Yeah.
So whatever it was, that's what I used. This one gives you 4 of one and 5 of the other one. There's only 4 holes that it needs to go in. So we'll try the larger diameter.
Why not?
Just drop it down in the hole. Does it fit?
Oh.
Does it fit?
That'd be odd if it doesn't. Why would they just supply them if they don't work?
Brunhilde is the same issue. You have to insert it from the bottom because they chamfered the slots, the holes on the bottom.
Ah, yes, you can drop it in.
But they didn't chamfer the holes from the top. So technically it'll fit, but to get it to actually fit and drop, so much easier when you chamfer the holes.
Oh, cool.
So there's the wicking. It's supposed to wick up to there. I see why they gave you a smaller diameter, a 0.5 millimeter diameter, thinner.
It could be something to do with the amount of juice flow, you know what I mean? Like, you might get a lot of juice with one or a little less juice with the other one, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, if you take a look at the space around it, that is so tight in there. There isn't very much room around the outside of it. But don't forget, when you use the thing, you're going to be tipping it up. So how much is that going to contribute versus...
Like RDTA did work off that anyway, even if you used cotton. I've got an old one kicking about somewhere. You've got to tip it on its side where you're cutting it, otherwise. It ain't
kind of like the pyro. Only difference with the pyro, you drop the cotton down into it as opposed to having these wires that actually use capillary action to bring the juice up to you.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cheap to only include one coil, though.
Well, Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
Yeah, but in the overall scheme of things and the cost, how much did they actually spend for this coil? You know what I mean? A buck, maybe?
Yeah, very little.
25 cents because they bought it in bulk? Could have put 2 coils in there. But that's getting picky at this point.
Yeah, you're being picky, mate. You're being picky.
I'll be accused of being Jay Hayes.
As long as you don't hit it with a hammer, I'll hold it up for a while, you'll be alright. Just having a quick look here.
Take me out to California. Take me out to
I'm just having a quick peek.
I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are
Let's have a look.
drawn to skies.
I'm just having a quick look actually on it just to see if there's any info on the reason why they've got 2 sets of ropes.
Beyond the great divide, but I'll be coming
That was the one website I didn't bother to look up before.
It's a single coil postless deck. Probably why it's one coil, because it is a single coil postless deck. Where your
That
wick
was so
sits.
easy to put in there.
Lots of room for your wicking because it's a massive, massive juice well.
And because it's 3.5 millimeter, which one is it? Orange or black? I think it's the orange one that's the bigger one. What's the black one feel like when we pull that through? No retention. So this is the 3.5. That's still a little loose, but I mean, it should work fine.
It's not much really on the ropes as such. This one is a board.
Everything looks really good. No real matting. Just drop it down onto the ropes. Still one thing I haven't been able to master. Doing things facing away from you.
No, it's an absolute nightmare.
And what didn't I do?
What didn't you do? I'm sorry. I'm
dry
just
burn it or measure the resistance.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just checking out to see if I can find any more info on for them ropes. I think it's just pure. What I found is purely it's just wicking. You know what I mean? I reckon some are better than others at the moment. Wicking.
So, despite what the package said, it says it's supposed to be 0.26. Measuring 0.16.
Yeah, it's just pretty much seeing the dips and thicknesses or just do the wicking. Nothing much of doing about anything else. No. It is pretty. It's still out there, and it's still for sale. I mean, there's a vape bargain site I've got it for £23.99. So it's still, it's still out there, and it's pretty, very cheap RDTA.
There we go.
Yeah, beautiful that, man.
Man, am I glad that I actually pulled that cotton out and chose to redo it, because that was shorting out across the bottom. You guys couldn't see it. That would not have been a good vape. And I'd been sitting here
there you go, man.
blaming the thing when it was legit my fault for not actually getting the hot spots out.
There you go. William Dobson's answered the question there while I was looking. The smaller ropes are for dual. Smaller ones for dual coils, the larger one for single coil. There you go. That's the reasoning. So you've got the correct ones in for a single coil. You've got the large diameter ropes.
This would be an interesting one. How would you get? They only have a hole on this side and on this side. To put a double coil in here, first off, they would have to be really small. Be doing another bogan situation where you try and put 2.5 millimeter coils in here.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to literally have one come straight up and coil on this side, come down, and then come back before it drops down into the deck. And the other one would have to be the opposite.
Yeah.
It would have to come across, coil, drop down on this side.
It doesn't look like there's much room in there to get dual coils in anyway. I think
it wouldn't be practical to do dual coils in that.
No, I think its main purpose is a single coil deck. But why the two? Why? Like I say, it could be down to
different flow rates.
Yeah, different flow rates.
The cost of them was 10 cents to include the extra package.
Yeah, welcome back at the calls. Hello.
Hello and welcome.
William Dobson said you get a more saturated vape with the smaller ropes. There you go.
Very interesting.
Thank you, William, for that. Thank you. Like I say, I've never ever used a device with the rope, so I'm intrigued.
What's going on with our printer?
I might actually try and pick one up because they're pretty cheap now. What I've seen, they're getting pretty good reviews as well.
We've only printed 4 times today. But there's been 103 actions recorded in the log file.
Wow. Odd.
Very interesting. Let me reset that. Chat message goes into the logger. First words.
I don't know if I missed that one, but Free Rider Vape has also joined us, so I'm sorry if I missed you.
So the user list is not updated. Because I've got people in the live stream that are not in the list of active users right now.
That's another good point. William Dobson depends on the thickness of your juice as well. You know, how thick you.
That makes a lot of sense.
If you're using max VG, you know, it might work better on a smaller rope than a bigger rope, or vice versa, or whatever.
Yeah, and because of the openings that are on here, I think that the max rope size that I dumped in here would probably be good for even like a mouth to lung or something. Something that's a little bit lower than this. Whereas the thinner ones would let more slosh up when you use it. Something you'd have to play with and actually find out for sure.
The reckon, I mean, what I've seen, the thinner ones do rattle about a little bit, so I don't know.
I think that's a little long. Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of room in that juice well. You can just dump it in. You wouldn't even have to thin the moot.
And the coil really doesn't sit that far off of the deck. You figure we cut the lead 7 millimeters and half of that probably went in. So you only need about 3 millimeters extending from the coils to touch the deck.
Get in there. Looks nice and easy to set up. I mean, you know.
It's very easy to set up, but trying to do it on the other way, I can't do a tuck if it's faced away from me.
Well, that's the joys of live building, my friend.
There we go.
There you go, man.
And picked out for today, Coastal Clouds Citrus Peach.
Oh.
We're going to give this thing a try.
That looks nice. I like peaches.
Let's see how this thing fills. Tip barely fits in there.
That's probably going to be the downside of it, that very small fill hole.
That's not too bad, actually.
Ah, but you know, you've got to have something with a small nib. I mean, if you can get some of them bottles that's just got
right. If you try to use the cone shape one that I have, you know,
you have no chance.
But she's filling up beautifully.
That's just, it's just clever, like the way it works. It is clever stuff. Old school, but clever. Does that smell?
I'm definitely getting that peach out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the resistance has dropped since we dry burned it.
Ooh, I will do that, William Dobson. Check out this Sagan. I thought I said Sega there. Saga Mini. I'll have a look at that. Saga Mini.
Seen it for 40 quid.
Spell checker. There you go.
Measures 0.23. 65 is probably going to be high. What's your coil thing say?
What we got on? 0.23.
Your wattage. 0.23 is what we ended up at. That's what I set it up to start with.
I think this will probably be a bit high because it'll get off a joule, I would imagine, but we'll see. 0.23. Calculate. Well, I think it's going off a joule because the cool vape, it's going 56.3. Middle one is 66.5. And a warm is 76.7. So, yeah, for a single coil, you could be pushing a bit for that.
Let's break it in. We'll start off at 45.
Yeah.
Because you said the hot was 70.
Oh, yeah.
There's the cap. Domed. Very simple airflow.
I do like the look of that.
And that fits on there without having to lube this up. Could it use a drop or so? Yeah. There, just enough like that.
William, I've just looked at that Saga, William. That's a nice looking mod. Whoa, it is lovely, isn't it? I don't like the green. The silver or the dark one, the blackish one would do be nice, but that's nice, yeah. That's on Evolution Vape and 40 quid. Ooh, bear that one in mind, William. Looks
wow,
nice.
I really love that honeycomb design right on the inside. Because this is wide open the way it's set up now on the outside, but it's restricted right next to the coil with that honeycomb.
Yeah.
45 is a cool vape. Go 50.
Ooh. Picking out plenty vapor as well, isn't it? Like there's plenty cloud of it.
55. Nice sweet spot.
Yeah.
Get a little crackle on the coils. And she's drinking the juice.
Oh, will
I filled that thing up.
Pretty much will. I think that was the downside to them. They like a drink. Bit like us adults, I take it. Like a drink.
But when you're making your own juice, that's not a factor.
Nope.
At all. It's not like the Titan. The Titan, you have to go down a nick level if you're going to put it on the Titan. Because it makes so much.
I'm going to sort that out. I'll tell you what it is, guys. I'll get me Titan set up for next week. We'll sort it out. We'll get the can of soup out.
Definitely can pull that off the shelf.
Yeah. We'll make it a Titan week next week, yeah?
It's right up there, right on the corner.
I think we should have a Titan week
Piece of cake.
Yeah, we should have a Titan week next week.
What's the weather supposed to be for you next week?
Oh, God. We're pretty just cloudy and rainy. I mean, it's still reasonably warm for the time of year, like, but...
They're calling for a snowstorm this weekend. Whether we actually get it or not, it's going to be another matter.
At the moment, we've been having some fantastic views of the Northern Lights. The aurora has been pink.
Oh.
But the sun's been doing some kind of solar burst as well. So you've got the green going into pink. It's been absolutely phenomenal. It's been seen right across the country, apart from us, because we're all covered in cloud. But yeah, there's some fantastic pictures of them. Pretty. Yeah, yes, 5 degrees centigrade, broken clouds. Feels like 2, it does. There's a bit of a chilly wind. We've got a wind coming in off the North Sea, I believe. Anything that comes in off the North Sea is bloody cold.
Damn near identical.
Yeah. Oh, that's a first, eh?
One of my new projects that I worked on.
You know, how does that work? Where humidity is higher? As long as you don't paint any male genitalia on my head, I'll be happy with that.
Listen, I plan on using that, you know, when we're talking about Dr. King, but with his AVM meeting, but I just got a little too carried away and ranting and raving.
You've left a red dot above my head. Go on, get up. That's a cool idea, right? It's cool.
Well, it seems to be working now. I'm not sure what happened originally. My allergies are definitely going crazy, though. With that juice? I'm not sure if it's the juice or if it's the berry. Pam says it's 76 degrees in North Carolina right now.
Oh, shut up. Gosh, that's really, we've experienced 76.
William Dobson says it's below 10 in London. Yeah. Northern England is 5, so it's definitely going to be below 10 in London.
That's normally warmer down south than us. They're normally warmer.
Man, I've gotten so much progress done on OBS this week. Everything's worked great. Even that complex scene that I threw together, only through an encoding error one time. But the stuff that I've got planned for, you know, making different scenes in this, because I was working on the news one originally and, you know, came across this DJ thing and then incorporated that into there. And I'm going to need to get a better graphics card. I'll tell you that. Now that I've got the hang of this OBS and creating scenes and sub-scenes and nesting scenes, and don't forget, we also have...
Attention! Vaping is better than smoking.
Ah, you don't see that every day.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him.
Yeah, William Dobson said he's moving to where Pam is.
No doubt about it.
You must remember though, when you move the States, your vaping could go out the fucking window, mate, so just be careful.
There's an off note in this, and I'm just going to have to see if it breaks in as time goes on. It's not the cotton. I've used that cotton before on other coils when I've changed and rewicked stuff. Just wondering if, because the bottom of that was shorting out, some of those coils got a little overheated.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, see, it might just be breaking in time, you know, I don't know, dear.
Definitely get the peach and definitely get a citrus aspect of it. And it's not astringent like a lot of the peaches are. There's too much malic acid in some of those peaches. It's definitely got some sweetness to it as well. It's an enjoyable vape. You can pick this Mato up for cheap. I like it. Well, like I said, the only problem is it's drinking the juice. I can already see through the window. We're down good 2 mil in the window. How are we on time?
Ooh,
coming up on a 2-hour mark.
We're flying, man.
We've got the Armor Mega Kit. So how about we jump overhead and get this thing opened up and find out if it's any good or not. And then compare the flavor of a stock coil kit from God knows how long ago.
Go for it, man. Let's go for it.
Armor Kit.
An old stock coil.
See if I can find anything on the web.
William Dobson said when he's going to move to where Pam is, then he's going to live off grid in the woods and solar panels to charge his batteries. I like your thinking, mate. I like your thinking.
The picture that's on here does not match what's coming up on my Google search.
Who makes it?
ARYMI.
ARYMI.
ARYMI Vape. There we go. Yep, that's what the picture looks like.
Yeah.
3 mil capacity. Let's get the plastic torn off of this.
God damn it.
Can't show the back because of the codes.
Don't be showing those codes. Do you be doing that?
Stainless steel. She's a looker.
Yeah.
Internal lipo.
Ooh.
Armor box. Manufactured by Kangertech.
Kangertech, aye. Jesus, are they still going?
And then here's the tank. Another one of those coils. Tighten this up. Just dropped it on the ground.
It's got like the look of the mix on it. It's like a side tank.
It's one of these type of coils where you fill it up, drop it down in, and tighten it down.
Oh. Very weird. Interesting.
I really like the look of it.
It's like
it might be a fingerprint magnet. Pull the old calipers out. I need to change batteries on this. I can hardly even see the screen.
It's dying. This one, I got any power on it. No.
Give me a moment, folks.
I knew he was bound to have more batteries. He's got everything. Well, William Dobson says Kangertech are still going to make their coils as a third party. Wow.
There you go. Now we can see.
Hello.
22 millimeter tank right now. Zero that out.
God, that's just reminding me of my old job in engineering. The amount of pairs of them I had were unbelievable. I had a full set.
So just a 23 millimeter tank is all that you can squeeze into this.
Yeah. And there's...
I'm trying to think if I have any modern tanks that would actually fit on here.
Maybe a long, because they're probably round about that size.
Plenty of space around it. At least on this end. If they would have centered that, you could have put in a 24 millimeter. You know, brought that 510 out just a hair. Because this sticks out further.
What about X? What size that is? It's a good old.
Just out of
like,
curiosity.
It's a good old SBS side by side thing, isn't it?
Smock won't fit. All right, let's take a closer look at this coil.
Holy moly. That's long.
0.3 ohm, 15 to 50 watts.
MTL job, isn't it? Pretty much. That's one long, skinny coil, though, isn't it?
Stainless steel 316L. Look at that burr.
Ouch. Holy moly. That was not good for quality, is it? Holy shit, man. You put lumps of metal over, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Fortunately, that would have gone into your tank where your liquid is and it wouldn't have been affected it. And looking at the inside, it's just standard round wire.
Well, thank God for that. But do you think you suck that down your windpipe?
Max fill. One of these styles.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be allowed for the displacement, wouldn't it, when you get your coil in?
No actual.
No display.
Just a bunch of dots.
It looks like your battery power. Wow, I've seen a couple of devices like that. Just give you dots, just to give you your battery power.
And I'd no longer have the micro.
What the hell is that? There it is.
Device charging. Well, let's fill it up and give it a try.
Oh, is it? There he
You
is.
can clearly see where the max fill is. So that's good. We'll use that same Coastal clouds to fill it.
Go for it. It's a weird one. Wonder when they came out. When did them come out?
I've got another device around here that uses the same style coil. Where is it? Here it is. The Moradin. We did that a while back.
That's right, yeah.
And that was on our Bluetooth speaker mod.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's still out and about. You can still get it, but it's down as a starter kit. You know, it's listed as a starter kit.
Nothing wrong with that Custard.
Trying to see when it came on.
Now that it's had a chance to sit in here, it works.
I've just seen a review, and that came out in 2016. That device. So that's
2016.
old. That is old. That's
what the goal is. This is a retro vape
retro
segment.
That should be in a museum now, mate. It's a museum piece. That's not a retro.
The Mato wasn't old enough for you, so I pulled out the armor.
That is
It's a beautiful looking device.
It is.
You know, I'm not going to knock it for not having the actual, percentages or wattage numbers, figures.
No, but you think that's early days LiPo battery stuff, that, you know what I mean? That's, wow.
What's it say the dots represent?
Power.
Resistance is supposed to be 0.015. Battery capacity inside there is a 2600 milliamp hour battery. So looks like you could change it, but you're going to have to take it apart to do it. There's a screw on the bottom keeping the cover on. LED lights up when the fire button is pressed. LED lights off when release the fire button, and atomizer stops vaping. 5 speedy clicks to switch on and off the battery. LED will flash 3 times when the atomizer resistance value is less than 0.15. LED will flash 15 times and stop functioning when the battery is drained. LED lights will up while charging. All 5 LEDs light up when fully charged. 10-second cutout. Built-in high-capacity battery. LED will flash 6 times and stop functioning when PCB temperature is too high. So you can't adjust it.
So it's got a bit of protection in it anyway.
It's got the protection, but it's not adjustable from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Suitable temperature in using is 5 to 45 degrees.
Yeah.
This is not designed as a smoking cessation product.
What?
So they originally sold 2 nichrome coils, a 1.5 and a 1 ohm nichrome coil. And then they also have the stainless steel that's supposed to be a 0.5 ohm coil. It's not 0.3, it's 0.5.
Jesus.
Half an ohm. Stainless steel.
Wow.
Top filling integrated drip tip. Very interesting.
If it's 2016, I wouldn't be expecting huge flavour.
We'll give that a chance to soak up a little bit longer.
Is it airy enough to be a DTL, or is it a mouth, or is it mouth to lung?
Yeah, it's airy enough to be a direct to lung.
Yeah.
It's restricted. There is some restriction. The airflow openings are on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Right there.
Yeah. Got you.
And it's mirrored on both sides. All right, time for a random recipe. Okay, Kenny's off and running. This is the recipe we made that I've been using right now. The banana isn't strong enough in this one. I could hardly taste any gram whatsoever. And it kind of resembles a buttercream cake.
Sorry.
Could I have let this sit a lot longer? Sure. But it doesn't have any separation in any of these flavors in here. Nor does it have a different flavor on the inhale versus exhale. but it's been an enjoyable experience nonetheless.
My apologies, guys. Call of nature.
That's why we have those bumpers, and they're the length they are. I just got done putting a bunch of stuff away.
When he gets a bumper on you like that up the stairs. Quick.
Richard Kidd, hello and welcome.
Hello, Richard. How are you doing? Right, maybe afternoon for you, but it's evening for us in the UK.
Yes, you're correct. My apologies. All right, so let's take a look at this 3-2-1 peanut butter cheesecake recipe. First up on the list, it is just 3 ingredients: cheesecake, graham crust from TPA, New York cheesecake.
Have you vaped peanut butter before? Have you? I've never vaped peanut
Yes.
butter.
We mixed up. Where is it? Peanut butter ice cream.
Ah, right.
On episode 5.
Right.
Fantastic.
I can vaguely remember it, but I'm thinking I can't remember doing the taste test. That's what I can't remember. I don't know.
And I love peanut butter.
I don't know if it was
peanuts.
or an instant one when you've done it.
Well, it's a steeper because of the ice cream, the creams that are in it.
That's right.
But you could definitely taste that peanut butter right off the bat and know that that's going to subdue as the creams come up higher.
Right.
So this one looks pretty interesting. It's a simple 3-banger. I think we're going to mix this one up for today.
I'm sure. I'm just checking my little box of goodies.
And the only thing that I'm going to add to this is some super sweet. Just put 1% in there. We'll save that and give that a shot. TPA cheesecake graham crust, Capella, New York cheesecake.
Where did I see that? What's that? It's lemon juice. Where did I see that? I can't find it. Now I stood and looked at it the other day and I cannot find it. You know these little ones that you put in your thing? You see these? Remember these, what you sent? Are them one shots as well, are they?
What's it say on there?
I'm about the front here. No, man,
Flavrz butterscotch. That's a butterscotch flavor. You could use it as a one shot, I suppose. And then the other one.
I was just wondering.
Move it a little bit closer to your right.
Oh, well.
And the other one is a one shot.
Yeah.
The one is a one shot custard, and the other one is a butterscotch flavor.
Well, obviously, I can just see that's wrote on that. Sorry, there.
That's okay.
Yeah, because you've got some of the you sent us some of the flavor stuff as well in small bottles. I've got like them.
Yep.
I'm just wondering.
Vanilla swirl is a single flavor, and graham cracker is a single flavor.
They're flavors, and you've got one shot label. I've got you. Ah, flavors, lovely. But that's a one shot. I've got you.
Yeah,
now.
I wasn't sure what kind of flavors he sent you. I was like, listen, I've got some big, massive bottles of these ones, so let me bottle up some 30 ml bottles for you to try out.
I've got you. I'm with you now.
So you can make your own recipe.
Yeah, because when I was looking, I thought, well, that's got one shot and that hasn't. So I was thinking their flavors.
So if it doesn't say one shot, it's an actual individual flavor.
Gotcha. I've got you. The confusion is over.
Fantastic, though. All right, so VSO peanut or SSA peanut butter. Don't have VSO. I gotta order some. And then Capella Super Sweet. And a 30 ml bottle. And a scale.
There. That's what I was looking for. That one there, that's the one I was looking for. I've just found it there. I don't know if you can see that. That's the peanut butter one I was looking for.
Ah.
Oh, believe that's a flavour, isn't it? Not a one shot. I'm assuming.
The only technical real difference between a flavor and a one shot is a one shot is technically something that's usually a complex blending of other flavors to create a flavor profile. Whereas a single flavor is legit just a single flavor. And if that's the profile that you want, then it can be a one shot.
I've got you.
But if you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, well, then you need some toast, you need some peanut butter, you need some jelly. As a minimum.
No. That's one thing I kind of understand what you eat out there is that peanut butter. Oh.
Would you rather have peanut butter marshmallow sandwich?
No, I'd just like peanut butter on its own and a slice of toast.
I eat it with a spoon sometimes. If I'm in a hurry, just want a quick snack, I'll go grab a tablespoon of peanut butter and off I go running like a lollipop.
I've been known to dip my finger.
I bet your kids love that as an example.
Yep. But what are you? Are you crunchy or smooth? I'm a crunchy man.
I used to be crunchy when I was younger. I'm more of a smooth man now. And matter of fact, my favorite one is the all-natural peanut butter.
Wow. I like crunchy.
I used to do Peter Pan because of the fact, all natural, because of the fact that it was so thick. But I'll do the same thing with the all natural Jif.
So what you got there?
Non-hydrogenized.
What's this for? Cheesecake? I've got some of that. Oh, New York cheesecake.
Yep, cheesecake graham crust. And then to that, to make the cheesecake a little bit more complex, is New York cheesecake from Capella, and then peanut butter flavor. And we'll see if it's at a high enough percentage for everything to balance out in the end.
William Dobson is stating, have you tried peanut butter and caramel?
Yes. I have trouble tasting the caramel in a lot of my recipes unless I let it sit for a while.
They're both pretty strong flavors, actually, aren't they, when you think about it?
Yeah.
Just
I'll have to get some more caramel and try it out. The one that I have isn't... Which one was it? Off the top of my head, I'd have to look at my flavor stash and figure out which one it was.
That's what I was thinking. If you've got like a recipe with two strong flavors, could one cancel the other out? You know, could they be like competing to hit that flavor? You know what I mean?
That's what I found with some of these ones. When you go and you make two of them that are, you know, both cheesecake flavors.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're additive and they come up with a beautiful blend that you could literally bottle and sell as your own cheesecake if you wanted to. And sometimes they clash. Like in your mouth, you get more of a buttery note, and then it kind of like distracts you from the original flavors of cheesecake. Like I've single flavor tested this one and a single flavor tested this one. And sometimes when I put them together, you get something that's a more accurate cheesecake. And sometimes you get one that separates the ingredients and you get more graham crust and more butter, and then something else that you just don't recognize as a cheesecake anymore.
I suppose it's like obviously the blending, because like you see, I mean, even some of your shop board juice, you could say go for, I don't know, a strawberry cheesecake or, you know, whatever, and you'll get that strawberry, but because that strawberry is such a strong flavor, the cheesecake kind of like doesn't come through type of thing as much.
Well, I just changed the recipe right there. Because that's supposed to be 0.31.
Wow.
I'm already at 0.58. And unfortunately, let me do this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give peanut butter a whirl.
Close enough. The advantage of having little syringes.
It looks like a miniature turkey baster.
This actually came with a set of bottles. I bought a bag of bottles on Amazon. It was like a 10-pack of bottles, and they threw in a couple of those, a couple little syringes, a couple blunt tip needles.
Wow.
And like this was a perfect example. I shot over. I'm like, oh, it's 0.6. It's supposed to be 0.31. Well, yank that out. I just removed the excess, squirted it in the bin, and we're good to go. Now we're moving on to Capella New York Cheesecake, and this is at 3%, which should be 0.9. Smells good. Wow. Does smell like a New York cheesecake, but more like the brown part on the top than the actual creamy aspect of it.
Some things, you know, just sometimes really think that sometimes some juices smell better than the taste.
Yes.
You're like,
I've had lots of individual flavors that smell better than they actually taste.
You're like, oh my God.
Even when you crank the percentage way up, it's like too much DAP gets it more of like a buttery flavor and popcorn thing than it does what it's supposed to be. So 0.9. See if I can get this a little closer to where it's supposed to be without shooting over. Feel like I'm playing The Price is Right.
Yeah, William.
Close enough.
William Dobson has just commented he's still trying to get a good banana or a banana custard, but every banana he has seems to have a candy taste. I think that is the general thing with banana flavors at the moment. I think, like we were speaking about them earlier on, it's a very difficult flavor, I'd say, to perfect, to be honest with you. But like I say, but every time I've had banana, you'll probably know we've been in the UK. You remember them little they were like a candy banana. They were like, yeah, you got the candy banana ones, and I think you got like a shrimp. I don't know why they done a shrimp, but it was pink and it was candied. And the banana had that candy banana taste. We was getting as kids. I can't remember what the shrimp one was supposed to be. It was probably like a strawberry or raspberry or something, but they had it as a shrimp, but a candy-shaped shrimp. Can you believe that?
There's the 0.60.
Oh, I forgot to state the strength of the alcohol on this beer. It's 4.5%. What was your strength on your bottle?
I will have to look here shortly.
This is 4.5. Ruby beer. From the Winchwood Brewery. It's quite nice. I'm quite pleasantly surprised.
1.86. Close enough for my taste.
I love that name. I love that name. Well, I'll be Hobgoblin.
Some PG. Looking at 5.29.
Got these little bottles there. I made a mistake, you know. I tried doing that with PG. I was sitting there.
That's what I did with the PG, but I mean, when I'm making 30 ml bottles, it's fantastic. Yeah, I love the fact that I have this because it's so easy to get exactly the right amount and just give it a good squeeze, and before you know it, you're there.
I tried it with VG and it didn't work.
No, it's not going to work with VG. Nozzles are too thick.
God damn it, come out.
Well, technically, you don't really need to because, I mean, like I said, these are all PG-based ingredients. All the flavorings are PG-based. Some of them have a little bit of VG in them to thicken them up or whatnot. If they're super concentrated, they'll dilute them down. Like the Liquid Barn stuff is really thick. It's kind of a PG blend. I don't know if it's 50-50, 70-30, 60-40, something like that. It's a lot thicker. But a lot of these flavorings are just straight up PG. And it's really nice because once you get it like this, then it's just a matter of topping it off. You know, generally speaking, you don't have to look at the scale for this part of it because you just fill it up to the part of the bottle that starts to come close down to where the threads are.
Yeah.
And you'll be close enough.
Lovely.
And we're supposed to be at 26.49. I'm looking at 26.47.
Oh, well, you kind of grumble with that, can you?
I mean, once you get to the you know that's what 30 mils actually is in your bottle.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of pouring until you get there. Just like you were doing last time.
It comes with practice and experience, I take it.
It's just you getting comfortable with it. Like last week, you were a little hesitant about worrying about the percentages. And once I plugged it into the calculator, we were able to get you to where you needed to be.
Oh,
once you do that a dozen times, you don't sweat about percentages anymore because you already know how to look it up. You know how to get the right figure. Definitely. And you build the confidence of saying, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your brake job. The first time you changed a set of brakes on a car, you were like, well, what if I screw this up? I'm not going to be able to stop.
True enough.
Then you realize that, you pull the wheels off like you're changing a tire. You pull 2 bolts off, the caliper flops off. You pop out the pads, you pop in the pads, you put a couple of, retaining clips on.
Yeah.
Put it back together, and you're like, I paid somebody $200 to do this?
Exactly. It's crazy, isn't it?
I went to the auto parts store for $25, got a set of lifetime guaranteed pads, and did it myself. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's the same thing with this. There's our juice.
That's awesome. I think the thing with me, I tend to overcomplicate things. That's the thing. Oh, William Dobson didn't get them chocolate coloured. Oh, I've seen them halfy before. I've seen them half chocolate bananas. I've seen them ones before. I haven't seen a fully chocolate one, but there you go. Wow, that's nice. If I can hit me both. Very strange colour. So, what you gonna put it in? What you trying it in? That's the question. What's it going in today?
Actually, I don't think this one's gonna go in today because it's got a cheesecake.
It's gonna be steeper.
We'll try it next week.
Why not? Why not? But on that
last week we did that 3-banger custard. Look at that color.
Whoa.
That's in 1 week.
That's looking
You
good.
know this is going to be way better next week.
I think it needs a little more.
Could I do this today? Sure. Is it going to be as good?
You're going to have a go with that today?
I don't think so.
Ooh, you could be pushing it. You could be pushing it. You know the score with custards.
However, we do have this cappuccino 1, 2, 3, 4 that we mixed up.
Yes.
That was on episode 5.
Remember that.
What am I putting this on?
I remember that.
Where's the cap?
Surprisingly, I remember that, even though my memory is like a sieve, but I do remember that.
There we go.
Oh, see, he's prepped again, all wicked and ready to go.
Well, I've been cleaning. I put a bunch of them into the recycle bin, and the recycle bin's sitting in the bathroom. I already cleaned the tanks. Now they're just soaking in the water just to get the residual stuff out.
Awesome. Bit of spring cleaning, eh?
It's a constant. It's getting into the point where it's now a constant. This is the Osmotis Galatech.
Ah. Very nice.
I couldn't remember what the name of it was. I'm like, what is this funky shape that's on here?
Most of my stuff.
We'll try that one out.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Oh, what we got?
What's this reading? 0.2 ohms.
0.2.
35 watts is not going to be enough for dual coil 0.20.
0.2, I average about 70-ish. 70 to 80. Ish. I say ish very loosely.
Well, 0.17 in the arbiter, I typically go 65. So since the resistance is a little higher, how about we drop it down to 60? And I might actually go a little lower than that.
Well, according to my calculator, a cool vape on a 0.2 ohm coil is 64.8 watts. So you're probably in the ballpark for a nice cool vape. 64.8, 76.5. That's probably where I am when I vape that thingy. Then warm is 88.2. Will be too warm. $65 might be a nice spot, shall we say? Unless you like it warmer.
This tastes like a legit cappuccino, not some you bottled powdered cappuccino and you made your own like hot chocolate kind of cappuccino. This legit tastes like you got espresso, you had espresso made, and then you turned it into a legit cappuccino.
Wow. Take care, William, sir. William's bailing out. Thanks for popping in, mate.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. All right, so let's go to the recipes, see where this one is we made. Cap 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the recipe. Macca's coffee, which is McDonald's coffee. Marshmallow custard. Not getting very much of the marshmallow custard. It's only in at 1%. Vanilla swirl. I'm getting a hint of vanilla. I'd modify this and I'd bump that up just a hair.
With vanilla swirl, vanilla whipped cream.
And I think it needs more whipped cream as well.
The vanilla-y side.
But I love the fact that this is a pure coffee-based recipe. It's not like that milk chocolate without the chocolate.
Yeah.
Like some of the cappuccinos you buy. It's got a nice, legit coffee base. And the rest of it just seems to be in there as a hint.
Could them flavors possibly come through a bit more if it was left a bit longer, do you think? Or
the custard might.
Yeah.
But it's only in there at 1%.
Yeah, it's not much, is it?
I think that the if we took and doubled the other ingredients, take the marshmallow custard to 2, take the vanilla swirl to 2, and take the whipped cream to 1, or maybe even whipped cream to 2, that would bring the coffee down a little bit further and bring to forefront the vanilla and the cream. Yeah, I would actually favor the whipped cream over the custard. Just bring the custard up a half.
It looks an interesting recipe, definitely.
And I like the fact that there really isn't much sweetness to it, because if you get a legit espresso-based cappuccino, there really isn't a whole lot of sweetness to that. The sweetness comes from the cream.
Yeah.
And this has just enough sweetness so that the cream is believable.
Yeah, I like me coffee sweet. I put sugar in my coffee, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, the normal coffee that I drink is the vanilla creamer. Yeah. Which isn't really cream, it's just artificial creamer and vanilla. And when you pour that in there's a ton of sugar already in that. I don't add extra sugar because of how sweet that creamer is.
Yeah.
But that's a really good coffee-based cappuccino. And I like the fact, like I said, that the coffee is forefront. It's not overpowering like some of the other coffee ones that we've made in the past.
Yeah.
There is subtle cappuccino aspect to it.
Got you. So it turned out to be a good one, yeah?
It's a good one. I'm going to be able to easily vape this whole thing. However, the bottle I make to replace this one, I am going to play with. I'm going to increase the custard 0.5%. The vanilla swirl is going to be at 2, and the whipped cream is going to be at 2, and we'll try it like that.
Definitely.
And then once the cream becomes a little more forefront, I think I might have to bump up the sweetness a hair.
Yeah.
But it's only a 0.12.
Dusty Curry Road is saying, I am actually milking a cup of Joe now. There you go.
That's what I had when we started the show. And I've been nursing this one like a baby on a nipple. That isn't hungry.
Nah, what's the matter with you? What's going on?
It, to be honest with you, is too sweet for my taste. I would rather.
Yep. See, you've got the bug for that.
I'd rather go back to the Mad Dog.
Now you know why we grew up on that shit. It's so good.
Yeah, I totally get it now.
That was our cheap, get drunk quick. So we see it when we were growing up.
All right, so let's give this Armor Mega a try.
Oh, yeah.
Is it as good as Miyagi's? No, Miyagi's is better. Because Miyagi's is perfectly balanced. If you don't like as much cream in your cappuccino and you literally like more of the coffee base and with just a little bit of a hint of cream, then this would be good for you. But if you like a true legit cappuccino, the Miyagi's, I would go for that. For my personal preference, if I was going to a restaurant and I was trying to find the best cappuccino possible, I would like a blending of Miyagi's in this. Has me tempted. I've got a little bit of Miyagi's left. If I took and added, there's what? 15 mil in here. If I added 15 mils of that to this, I wonder if I'd come up with the perfect cappuccino.
Food for thought.
To give that a try.
The cogs are turning.
That's the joy of DIY e-liquid. You can literally make it to your heart's content any way you want it. You want more of this? You want less of this? You want whatever you want. You can create your own.
Yeah, we can hear them cogs are turning in your head, mate. We can hear them. Oh. Oh dear. That is absolutely. Are you sure you don't want a straw for that? Oh, dear. Holy moly. Jesus.
Nothing's coming out.
What the hell happened? Wait, no, you've already drunk it.
All I got was Spitback.
I've said you've just drunk it.
It's gurgling.
Holy moly. Oh, that was just a flashback to Heisenberg, that.
This is a problem with these type of coils.
Oh,
when you put it in here and you first get a seal, you still have another thread or thread and a half left to tighten it up. That forces pressure inside the tank in through the cotton to equalize it.
Yeah.
If I tried quitting back in 2015 when this product came out, if this was what I bought to fucking go home, this would be in the fucking bin and I'd still be smoking.
It could be worse, you know. You could have Heisenberg in it.
Your statement about not having any flavor doesn't hold true with this one.
Wait, no, because you've got
Might
a
be
mouth-
because I already have a shit ton of it in my mouth.
That's what I'm saying. You've got a mouthful of it.
Let's clear that out.
You've pretty much drank it now with it. Holy moly, man.
Let's try something different.
Yeah.
Blue raspberry cotton candy and wild cherry Mike's.
Ah, yummy.
Bad combination. Ah!
Well, I know you said you could mix anything, but you're taking it a bit far now. Oh my
It's still
God.
gurgling.
Put some more heat in it. Or is it- are you
3
not got
lights
no-
light up when I use it.
It's probably, it could be not getting hot enough as well, you know, because you need to get a bit of heat in it. It's not vaporizing it, is it?
There's no wattage adjustment on here.
That's what I'm saying. Oh.
Let's put it on a modern device. Since that can't go with my beverage of choice. Set that off to the side. Now, last week, the blue raspberry Mad Dog and the blue raspberry cotton candy, whoo, was that a wonderful combination. They just accentuated each other left and right.
But they did.
So we'll throw this on the old Geek Vape. It read the coil 0.307. No, that's the old one. 0.389. 45 watts. Let's see what it does.
Better. It's not
Crackling like crazy.
Yeah, it's not,
There's still some residual spitback.
Yeah. It might need charging that mod because, like I say, it didn't sound like it was getting hot enough.
Still getting spitback. What the hell? Crank this wattage up.
Oh, dear me.
55 watts.
You're just going to end up burning it out, aren't you, to be done with it?
Might end up doing that.
That sounded better.
Didn't taste any better. Sounds like a steam engine.
Holy moly.
Give a whole new definition to burning in a tank. Look, half the fluid's already gone.
Jesus Christ. Holy moly, man. Oh.
Getting some warmth now. Let's go to 60. What was the max this coil could be at? 60? Dusty Country Road says that it happened a lot with the tsunamis when he first tried to quit a long time ago.
Hence the name, Tsunami.
Ugh.
He's not impressed with that, I tell you. Old technology. No,
Thank God that's gone.
It's probably degenerated. It's been sitting there since 2016.
Thank God I've got some ice water here. Wash this down.
I think that old technology is well and truly gone.
She's crackling like crazy now, but she's actually producing vape.
Hallelujah.
I totally get you had to have a lot of commitment if you were to try and quit back in 2015 with vaping. To get past that kind of spitback, to burn through half a tank of juice, and to have a different device you can put it on to crank the wattage as high as the coil's supposed to be rated for.
Yeah.
Before you get a decent vape. That took a lot of commitment. And I understand why the hobby aspect of vaping took off like crazy. Because the stock coils sucked.
Oh, they were bad.
Miserably.
They were bad in them days. Really bad.
But that juice in this tank with those stainless steel round wire coils holds up. I can't believe the flavor that I'm getting out of the citrus peach. And I think it's even more accurate now that this is actually going and functioning than what I initially got on the other tank.
I mean, do you get wrong, I mean, I know we've got complex coils now mesh, but if once you got your, you got some good vapes out of normal round wire. You did. Absolutely spot on.
But stainless steel is always going to be more true to flavor than the nichrome. There's plenty of juices where nichrome enhances the flavor profiles and makes it better. But in this particular case, I'm getting an off taste from those coils being burnt in on this one. But on this one, now that I've cranked the wattage up, I'm getting a better flavor out of the stainless steel.
But there's a little hint for you. For all my RDAs, I put stainless steel coils in them. Always have. From wound wire to complex coils, all stainless steel go in my RDAs.
I am definitely getting the flavor, the citrus peach in this. And this is a much more enjoyable vape than this one is.
I think without them being stainless, because obviously stainless steel, you get a slightly quicker ramp up time. So I can understand why they've got them in. But for that device not to generate enough power for the coil, I mean, maybe it needs charging. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
perhaps,
I mean, this thing's been sitting in here for 3 years now since I ordered this thing. So it could probably use a charge.
If it's charged up, it might work. But like I say, that's probably that thinking behind stainless coils and that, because they ramp up pretty quick.
But after tasting the real flavor out of this, I can truly identify those notes in this. So once again, half a tank of juice later, it's going to take at least another half a tank of juice in this and a refill before this one is true to flavor.
Now you know where that comes from. You always need about a tank of juice to better coil. It's not off the old round wire days, mate.
I get it now. It takes a tank of juice to better coil in.
Yeah, that's where it came from, the old round wires. Right, people when they first done the build, they used to go just chop away to get it through, and then.
But if you think about it, back in 2015, this kit probably would have sold for $100. So if you spent more than a carton of cigarettes to buy a vape to quit smoking, or to try and quit smoking,
I mean, it was a commitment, like I say.
you can take it off. It's magnetic.
No way.
But that still doesn't get past the offset requirements. You're still limited to 22 millimeter tank.
I think it's just, it's a protector in case it guns out, which is a good idea. It protects your tank.
I like the idea.
You drop it or knock it over or whatever. But like I say, it still doesn't allow you to get a bigger tank on. Like I say, it's restricted by the shoulder of the mod. It's an SBS. It's a side-by-side mod, isn't it, really, at the end of the day?
The airflow on this is much smoother. The vapor is so much more refined on this. The atomization, the particle size of the atomized vapor is much finer on this than what you're getting out of this.
It looks a quite nice setup, that one. I like the look of it.
If I had another mod that you could adjust the wattage on, I would be able to quit smoking with this. It would have took a lot more to get over this initial hurdle, a lot more commitment. But because of the cost back in the day and how rare that something like this would have been, I would have stuck with it long enough to find out if this was going to work or not.
That's probably why you'll see, like, when people were trying vaping around about that time, they weren't, you know, they didn't always work. For me, it didn't work first time. When I first tried something, I was, oh, it's disgusting. You know, for the reasons you found out. You spit back, or, you know, it was fucking vile, or you coughed your ring up. You know, it took me a couple of goes to actually latch on to vaping, you know what I mean? But like I say, the first couple of times I thought it was vile. I thought it was horrible. You know what I mean?
I'm actually looking at right now ordering another original Arbiter because of how much I love the thing. And I love the original coils that came with it. I've tried all their coils in there. They're close, but not as good as an original coil. And it kind of upsets me that Oxford doesn't sell those coils separately.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you, for these devices? That's my gripe with sub-ohm tanks. You know, you'll buy them, you get coils for about 12 months, and after 12 months, that's it, they just disappear. If you're looking for them to go that long.
The more I use this, the more I get it now. I get the break-in period. The vapor is getting finer and finer. There's less crackle now. It's more of a true vapor experience.
Yeah, you had to go through a bit of crap then.
Yeah, and with that one too, as time goes on, that side note, off note from the coil is dissipating. I totally understand now why forums and ECF was so popular back in the day. You quit smoking, you spent $100 on this kit to try and quit, and you tried it, and you got all the spitback. You're like getting on there asking people questions. Why is this normal? It's normal. Get through the first tank and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably where the birth of it always takes a tank in to bed your coiling. That's kind of where it came from.
And I get why the science from back in the day was so against it too. Because the scientist doesn't know that it takes a tankage coil to break this in. Run the machine for an hour before you actually test it. Go through 2 tanks of juice to bed the coil in first. They're just going to run it at its max and throw out the science whatever they get.
That's where it is, you know.
Whereas the modern tanks are just so much better.
Richard Kidd said he tried back in 2014 and couldn't quit. 2020 on the Caliburn G, and now he's got 5 going. So
yeah.
It's all about perseverance.
Where are we going to be in 10 years?
Oh, God, wow.
Everything's going to be as good as the X Slim.
Well, that's if you're still allowed to vape in America in 10 years.
It's not illegal for us to buy it from UK and order it here. It's just going to cost a lot more money.
Yet. That's what I'm saying.
Payment processors have classified as a high-risk purchase, so you're going to have to use cryptocurrency or something to buy it. But the consumer demand for these products is not going to go away, especially when you have all of us ex-smokers and the fulfillment that we've achieved by not smoking any longer out there beating the drum, letting the smokers know if you want to quit, there is an off-ramp.
No, but like a next step on for that, there are a lot more hobbyists out there now than what there are actual people who just use it to quit smoking. A lot of people have moved on to hobbyists. So I reckon a lot of current vapors are, they're all hobbyist vapors.
Yeah, and most of the audience for this show is hobbyist vapors that have experienced it and quit, and they're like just keeping the camaraderie going.
But on the other side of the coin, continue to be a hobbyist is keeping them off the cigarettes. If they stop doing the vaping, they may fall back onto the cigarettes. So, there's lots of positives out of that.
And like Dusty Country Road and my wife, they're happy with these devices. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to get into the hobbyist aspect of it. They vape it, the coil tastes bad, they put a new coil in, a new pod in, fill it up, and they keep not smoking.
Oh, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have to have something like that to be a hobbyist. You can, like you say, you can have the pod kits, you can have the AIO kits, you can, where you just change.
But I honestly feel there's a bunch of people out there that are like me, that if you gave them this to quit,
they wouldn't,
and handed them one of these to start with, they would have been able to use this until they figured this out.
Oh.
And they could be in our shoes a year down the road.
I kind of get where you're coming from, yeah.
But they have to want to take that path.
Definitely.
You can't force anybody to quit smoking. Like, you can't force alcoholics to quit drinking. They have to reach a point where they make that determination, the self-determination, that that's the path they want to follow. Yep, me too. I've just now reached the point where 2 of my tanks don't have coils in them. I've tried alternate coils, but they're just not quite as good as the original Arbiter. I'm legit ordering another Arbiter because I want to have that experience again later on of putting a fresh, brand new set of coils in this and vaping it for the first time.
You don't think you find that though, like when you buy a sub-ohm tank and the sub-ohm coil in it is absolutely sublime, and then when you buy spares from them, they're absolutely shit. Do you not notice that? They're not,
because you're not putting in exactly what it came with.
Yeah, or they're not as good as what it came with, you know what I mean?
When I ordered the Mongrel, I saw they sold the coil that this came with. Yeah. So I bought 2 packages of coils specifically made with the right twist and the right shape for the Mongrel. I'm going to be able to use those coils for a couple years because I've got enough to do that, and because they last so long. Every week and a half, you dry burn it, clean it, throw some fresh wick in it. You can keep using that thing for 6 months easy.
Oh, wait. Easy. Without a doubt.
And depending on how true to flavor you want it to be, you could probably milk another 6 months out of it if you don't mind not having perfect taste.
Yeah.
At that point, it gets to the point where you're going to get hot spots and shorts going across it, or you're going to get broken windings on the Clapton. And then you have to replace it because it will not glow the whole coil without having a hot spot. You can't get rid of.
What is the hot spot flavor? I need a flavor rush myself, actually.
Okay, so now the real test is going to be, now that I've got this one working the way it's supposed to, running at 60 watts, let's throw it on the original mod that came with it and see if I can actually get an enjoyable vape out of this device.
It actually might work all right, seeing you've got it, like, so to speak, bedded in. Yeah.
Now it works. But I wouldn't have been able to get it to this point without burning through an entire tank of juice.
Like you say, the device with a full charge may do the business. I don't know.
And this is definitely running a lot lower than that. I'm guessing 30 watts is all I'm getting out of this mod, the way it's set up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 watts is the max, is what this mod is putting out right now.
Times that by 5, I think that's what this is hitting. Jesus Christ. Oh. Holy moly.
Only tools. The government are just a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
And they're not very useful ones.
They're pretty much like a left-handed screwdriver, as they say.
Exactly.
That banana tastes so good in this. Oh. It's absolutely fabulous, honestly. Steep time, RDTA. That's the combo. Tremendous. Wow.
This flavor's good, but I don't think it could be an all-day vape for me. The sweetener they used in there gives me that artificial sweetener aftertaste.
Oh.
Speaking of which, I saw something on erythritol. Erythritol is becoming quickly one of the most popular artificial sweeteners out there. And they're finding out that it actually is contributing to heart attacks.
Oh, excuse me.
Because a lot of these artificial sweeteners, when you take them, your body can't digest them. So it just circulates around your bloodstream for a while until it uses secondary pathways to be ejected in your urine. And because of the high levels that are in there, those high levels of these artificial sweeteners are actually causing clotting issues for people.
Richard Cade is saying you really should build an RDTA. Never tried, and I have a few lol. I'm one of those who used to buy a lot. I guess I got worried about what happened south of the border. Have a go at it, mate. Build. It's fantastic, really. Have a go.
It's a nice hobby and a nice way to get into it. And that brings up something else that I wanted to talk about today. Let me see if I can find the actual right page up here. We got our tax refund coming. Finally completed our tax paperwork and whatnot. We have a little bit of a refund coming, so we're going to get the car fixed, pay off some bills, and both of us get a little bit of cash to go out and splurge. So on my list for purchase, I came across this. It's a German guy that decided to use a 3D printer to manufacture stuff to help people build coils. And he's got this rail system. That's the hardest part about that I've had with, even with the Daedalus, is having your fish loops on the one end be the same height as your drill chuck. So that when you're spinning them, you have least amount of resistance possible.
That's right,
so here he's got a rail system. You had an extruded aluminum rail that mounts your swivel and mounts a motor so that you can build your own coils. Came across this off of a Facebook group.
I think I've seen something like that before, yeah. It's just to make things a bit easier. I mean, getting a good... Most people like with a swivel, it's normally a efficient swivel. That's basically what you're using. And they don't last very long because obviously they're not designed to be rotated, etc. This kind,
Exactly. And the nice thing about this one is he 3D printed the holder, and inside this holder is a legit industrial grade ceramic ball bearing setup.
That's what you need.
That's designed to hold this swivel in place.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect height with the mounting system he has for the motor, for the power unit.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, if you got a swivel made out of stainless steel, perhaps it would be just a material, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're still going to be generating heat, even if it's stainless steel ball bearings inside there.
Yeah, it's not getting any kind of lubrication, is it?
So I was taking a look at this thing, and here, this thing, I think I saw it, the complete rail kit was 169 euros. So for $200, because it's like $20 shipping to the States, which I think is amazing price.
That's not bad. That actually is quite a good price for it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to be placing an order. I'm going to reach out to this guy and I'm going to place an order for this because I am really impressed with this setup. it may give me the strength and the courage to finally get to the point where I can build my own coils and not have to rely on a source of coils or coil builders.
I can't build coils like that, but they're not complex. They're very basic. You know, he's probably, I think the most complex I've built will have been a triple core fused Clapton, mint for stuff like that. I could never master aliens. I could never get the tension right for them. I used to pull too tight and obviously take the bend out. But general Clapton coils, I could breeze through them, no problem. I could get the drill full belt and just kind of land. I'd near bother with them. But
yeah, I mean, making Clapton coils with a cordless drill, yeah, that's easily doable.
Yeah,
I've got the Diadalis that makes it one step easier. But I honestly think that if I got this entire setup,
it would make life so much easier.
I went up 10 euros. But still. Completely mounted with all items plus 1,000 millimeter length rail. It's like 39 inches. It's a meter long, 39 inches long.
A meter long? Fuck.
It's a 1 meter long rail that the drill mounts on and this on. So you're literally...
You get plenty of coils out of that.
I would need to justify the cost. You can buy an awful lot of coils for $200.
Like I said, the wire I buy, it comes in 10-foot lengths on a coil. You know, the pre-made wires, they're about 10 foot. What's that, like 3 meters, 10 feet, roughly?
Yeah, I've used those ones before. They're all right. I mean,
but
I want to be able to make myself a nice set of aliens.
There is a nice satisfaction when you made it. It's nice. There is that bit of satisfaction over it.
And that would fit perfectly on the table behind me.
He's actually got an aluminium reel and all for all to sit on and everything. That looks really cool. That's a nice bit of kit, that.
And then the nice thing is on the end of this, you can literally tighten it up. Once you clamp those two down, you can crank the handle on the end where the swivel is, and it literally tightens it up and gets you the perfect stretch.
Nice tension
for your wire.
That looks an impressive piece of kit, actually.
So you should be able to make it without twists in your finished product.
When you think about it, it's probably a miniature version of maybe a big industrialized, like the big companies use. It's probably a scaled down version of that when you think about it, because the big industrial people have big machines like that'll rattle them along all day. You know what I mean?
And with ceramic ball bearings, that is never going to wear out in my lifetime.
Nah. Even if there is just a little port where you can grease it up or something, it'll last forever, man.
Yeah, with ceramic, you don't need to grease.
Oh, I know that, but it's a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah. With stainless steel, I would say, yeah, you would probably benefit from it. But he's got all kinds of other stuff here, other tools as well. Individual handheld things you can use to actually wrap your coils.
Who is it, like? What do you call them? Coil what?
Coilfactory.germany.de.
Oh, it's German.
Yeah. The Germans love building their stack mods and mechs.
Well, they all walk around with Titans.
Yeah.
Coil Factory.
But look at that. That'd be perfect to wrap your coils. And it's nice, big and thick, not like the little tiny tools that we have to deal with stuff now.
That's it, coilfactory.de. Where is it?
I want to be able to make coils as good as that.
You probably could with that. I need to change the language to English because obviously it comes up in German when you type it in.
Yeah.
Look at his Swivel V3, man. He's got on his thingy page. Wow, that's impressive.
Look how easy it would be to wrap a set of coils with this.
Wow. That's pretty cool. 775 motor box. I like the way it's fixed. Everything's fixed and rigid. You're not like holding a drill in one hand and trying to tension while you're wrapping with another hand.
So the only thing that you have to deal with is, exactly how much lead you want to give your wire that's wrapping as the Clapton.
It's just getting the tension right on the wrap, but that comes with practice anyway. I mean, I got that.
And then in order to convert that into an alien, you would really wrap it the opposite direction you want your alien to go. And then once it's done, you just give it a quick twist the opposite direction to loosen the Clapton, slide the Clapton off, pre-stretch it out. I was watching a bunch of Sherlock Holmes videos. I've watched them numerous times off and on the last couple of years. But once you get the tension right on it, it's just literally a matter of holding it straight and then winding up the speed on it. And you can literally do an entire segment on it.
Clever stuff, mate. That's mint.
Talk about the lazy way. Look at this. He mounted it in a drill to wrap his coils.
Exactly. He's got a coil wrapping tool there as well. He's got the things on the wire for keeping it flat as well.
And it clamps it and holds it in place.
Yeah, he's got little clamps that sit on the wire to keep it flat.
Yeah, and this was what, $20? $18.99, $20.
That's so cool. Definitely worth a look, like, isn't he?
Well, I'm definitely placing an order from him. How much I'm going to actually end up getting into spending, my wife and I are going to have a disagreement about that.
Even so, all the accessories he's got as well are phenomenal. He's got
spool holders.
He's got clamps or holders for everything. I'll have a good look through that later on. That's really good.
You as a machinist can totally understand the value in having the right tool to do the job.
Oh, without a doubt.
And the thing is, you don't have to use his rail system with his motor. He can literally, if you've got a certain, brand drill, he's got other ways of doing it as well. So if you want to use your own drill to do it, clamp it to the desk, and then he can sell you adjustable height. Where is it? Adjustable height swivels.
Yep.
You mount the pole to your bench.
Oh, clever.
And then you can adjust it to whatever drill you want to use to power the rotation.
See, I was thinking, well, I mean, it was a daft idea at the time. I was thinking the box of getting one of those little hobbyist lathes.
Yeah.
And make fixings for a lathe. But I don't know if the speed of the lathe would go slow enough, because you've got a minimum RPM, haven't you, with it being a lathe?
You want to stand for your tube, Mac?
Yeah, I'll have a stand.
And because he's a small business, there's no VAT. Whether once it crosses the border, I don't know if your country is going to flag it or whatnot, but...
What's the current exchange rate for it? Hang on, pound against the euro. What is pound? Oh, pound in. I know our exchange rate is absolutely shit at the minute, but we'll see. 1.14 euros to the pound. Yeah, the euro's stronger than us at the minute. Ouch.
You say 1.14 euros to one pound?
Yeah.
So that means your pound is worth 1.14. So it's actually going to be cheaper than what he has listed here.
Oh, definitely, but it's not. It used to be much stronger. That's what I'm saying. It's not as strong.
Yeah, even against the dollar, it used to be a lot stronger. It was like 1.6.
Yeah, that's right. That's not too bad. It's better than I thought. Because I know, a couple of months ago, it was pretty much matching. It was a pound or a euro, literally. That's it.
And there's a jig to mount your drill in.
I'm going to get some overtime in and get one sorted.
That's the only part of this entire vaping thing that I don't have mastered to stay a vapor forever, to never have to buy another commercial product again.
I've done it. I have built, and it can be fiddly. You do need a bit of patience, but once you've vaped your first set of coils that you've actually built, it's like, wow. You know what I mean?
I made them.
Because
that's the one I made myself.
I want to make my own series coils for my mix. That's what I want to do.
It's not bad. It works all right.
Yeah.
And if I can do this using the few tools I have now, I'm definitely going to be able to do it with the rail system. And I get that handhold tool for wrapping the coils. It's going to be a lot tighter than this.
Yeah, but it's actual making of the coil, you know, it's awesome, you know, for like, you know, like you say, my first
I've
attempt,
never seen Hippie Vapes actually make the coils. I've watched a couple of his videos for DIY recipes.
Yeah. What's that, a beadle and spool?
I'll have to look for it.
Like
I'll have to look for his...
I mean, like you say, wire you can buy cheap as chips, and you know, as it's you get loads on a spool. You know what I mean?
Well, I've got a bunch of wire because once I got the Diadalis, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. It wasn't quite that easy. Was it easier than me grabbing my cordless drill and trying to do it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Diadalis was good for de-infused clappings, and that's as far as you got with it. I think that's, you know,
yes,
pretty much.
To make a simple set of fused claptons is fantastic. Yeah. Once you get the tension right, you put it on a smooth table so that there's room for the skid to glide across.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's way better than trying to do it on my beat up old desk.
Yeah.
Steve Vapes, hello and welcome.
Hello. How are you? Oh, this is so... You know what it is with this, right? When I put that in a tank, I got the banana, I got the marshmallow, but I never got nothing else. When you put that, holy moly.
Toasty Cheese, hello and welcome.
Hello, hello, Toasty Cheese. My God, honestly, I'll tell you what it is, that is nice. That is a good recipe you made there, mate.
Let me pull it up for you.
Banana marshmallow custard tart, that is nice. In an RDTA. That's really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised because I didn't think I would like banana because, like I say, the candiness, but this is just right because it's got the balance of like that marshmallow and custard.
There's your recipe.
Ah, yeah. It's all right, mate. I follow you on AFL, so I can easily call them up anytime.
Yeah. This is a Flavrz recipe that he put out there.
It is nice.
7.3% of banana. There's 2.5% dragon fruit, 5% of graham cracker, 14% of marshmallow custard.
Yeah.
A little bit of smooth, 0.7, and 0.5% of super sweet.
I think the secret is because the banana's not overpowering. You do get that banana on the inhale, but it's not there all the time.
The custard is dominant.
When you're exhaling, you're getting that. Oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm. And you can adjust it if you have different flavor brands.
Oh, yeah. That's good enough for me.
So you could make this if you had like Capella and TFA and whatnot. Might not be exactly the same, but you can get it close.
Oh, I'm happy with this. Absolutely divine. Oh, God damn it.
And obviously some brands are really potent and some of them are less potent, like your super concentrates for Wonder Flavor. The percentages need to be cut back a lot for you to equate to what this one is.
That's so good. That is so
but each
good.
of their flavors and flavors is all roughly the same percentage strength. So 14% of banana and 14% of marshmallow custard are the same strength. It's not like Wonder Flavors where you go 1% of this flavor gets you to this volume of flavor, and the other one you're going to have to put 0.5% in to get you the same volume of a different flavor.
Got you.
So using that as a conversion, you could, adapt this recipe to different brands. or you just order straight the flavors from Flavrz. Which brings us to the last segment that we wanted to do today.
Oh,
and we're like a bunch of old ladies. We're already coming on 3.5 hours.
Christ almighty.
I mean, I dedicate this entire day for this live stream, and Kenny and I normally chat until it's time for him to get ready to eat something before he goes to bed. But
holy moly.
For you replay crew, I apologize if this one's running long today. But I do want to get this one done because I'm really looking forward to trying this out. We've got ourselves a blue slushy ice. This is a flavor Shoc from Flavrz. And it is legit a 200 ml bottle that's already got 60 mils of a one shot in it. So all we need to add is our secret sauce. And then you could top it off with a 70-30 base if you had one pre-mixed just to top the bottle off, and it's done. It's that simple to make 200 mils of your own liquid. So, zoom out. Pop this thing open here. And look, I love how this is wrapped. Look at that, completely sealed all the way around. Take my knife. Pull that off. There's our flavor one Shoc. That's the difference between a one shot and a one Shoc. You already get them a bottle. You don't need to buy bottles separately. And you can legit make your own liquid. So let's jump over to ELR. I'm going to create a recipe.
I had the peach custard one he sent me. That was bloody lovely, that one.
This finished bottle would be 200 milliliters. I'm going to leave it at the 6. I'm going to go with a 70-30. The rest of the time is all going to be the same. We're going to add a flavor to it. And this flavor is called Blue Slushie Ice. I cannot type today. Flavor Shoc. And just like that, well, that is in there. There's 60 mils of it, so that's 30%. This is obviously going to take us over the amount. So we just adjust this. Drop the PG down. Where are we at? Minus 12. If I click max VG, where are we at percentage wise? There you go. 36% PG. So we'll just save that. And there's our recipe. I need to add 12 mils of our secret sauce to this. And then top the bottle off with VG.
Simple as that.
And check this out. Ain't gonna work. 200 ml bottle. That's a little issue.
Ah.
This was made for a max of 120 mils.
I think it was.
So, in order to pop this off, I'm just going to use the tweezers. Get it underneath this lip. And get it to pop open. The only problem with that flavor Shoc. Pretty concentrated and potent. All right, so secret sauce for this is going to be 12.43 grams. The advantage of using syringes for this. I'm going to go with 2.43 as my goal. And then just draw the syringe up to 10 mils.
So cool. Get in there. Get in there, my son.
There you go. Talk about quick and easy.
So,
give it a stir. You lose the scale. I'm taking the top off of this and just pouring in the VG.
With a bit of 200 million, you can just glug it in, can't you? There's no funning about just getting glugged in.
This is the quickest recipe ever.
They are, like, they're really good.
Done.
I think the beauty of them, a majority of them are you just shake and vape. Well, I think you can just pretty much ready to go with them, aren't you?
Give it a good shake.
Boom, baba, boom. Done.
And you now have yourself 200 mils of blue slushy. That simple.
What can you say? Damn. Yes.
I'd be happier if I had something to put it on.
Oh dear.
Well, I guess the fat rabbits get another shot.
Oh, with a fat rabbit.
And because this was such a pain in the wazoo to get opened, I need to make sure that I lube this up.
Yeah, you weren't a big fan of that to start with, were you?
Well, it almost ruined my vacation in Gatlinburg. But that was my fault. I mean, I'm going to be honest. That was my fault that the thing puked itself out. I should have never took it and threw it into a camera bag. It's still tight. Yeah, I should never just took this and threw this into the camera bag as a spare tank. Not when it's full. That was idiotic on my part.
Not a good idea, eh?
Did I have some issues with it? Yeah. Could I have played with this longer and got it to be as good as it should be? Sure. 0.17 we're looking at. See what this thing glows like.
It's a get there, man. She'll get there. Pretty lovely then, man.
Fundamentals of magnetics. This coil is heating up faster, so you slide this inside, fire it for a brief second, pull it out, And because the electromagnetic strength was different on the two of them, now they should heat evenly.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Especially on an older coil that you don't have any hot spots on anymore. At one point didn't have hot spots because you got just a little bit of spacing, you got a little bit of buildup on there. It's good. Could I put this coils into some smooths to get them actually clean? Or put them in an ultrasonic cleaner? Sure. But realistically, this should be fine for what we're going to use it.
Oh, way aye.
It's going to take a while for that to cool off. Go figure. So we'll sit and have a toot.
I've got I want a little wire brush for mine. It's like a toothbrush, but it's very soft. And I just give them a light brush when I clean them, and I just burn the rest off.
I'll use a regular toothbrush for mine. Once I clean it, I just use a regular toothbrush on it. I thought about using other wire brushes. I've got some wire brushes that are brass and some stainless and whatnot, but I think it's just too rough on those coils for those Claptons. A lot of these Clapton coils I have in here have 40 gauge wrap on them. That is fine as a human hair, if not finer.
My brush, I mean, it depends why you brush, because my brushes are really soft. They're like furry, you know what I mean? They're just so. If you've got something too rigid, you'll probably rip the coils to bits when you do it.
Yeah.
They're nice and soft. They're literally like a furry brush.
That is an enjoyable peach. Let's just say it's not as good as the #1 selling watermelon peach from Phil Basarda. That one is a much better flavor than this.
There you see. The old school stuff prevails in that case. And
that's the real test. See if the aglets can make it through there.
Oh, God, aye.
Without melting. That's some nice tension. Try the other direction. One of those coils is just not quite
opened up enough. Oh, it's going. It was nearly. Nice. I was never a big fan of some of them shoelace ones. Like I say, sometimes it just fell apart when you went to thread them through. You know what I mean?
I've really gotten addicted to this particular one. Advocacy, Coil Doctor, I think was the brand originally sold under. Once I get it thin enough through there, I know it'll be the right density.
Oh, it takes a bit of the guesswork out of, like, you know, splitting your cotton bacon or whatever it is you use.
Yeah.
But there's no that one's gonna play ball at the minute.
Well, like you said, you know, when you try and do everything on live stream, it just...
Yeah.
If it's possible for it to go wrong, you can guarantee it will.
You can guarantee it. I mean, 9 out of 10 times, if you're doing that off camera, you'll get it first time, every time, no problem.
And it'll slip right through, no problems.
Yeah. Because you're live, it says, I'm going to make you look silly.
I got your number, don't you worry.
God damn it. little so-and-sos they are. Come on, third time lucky, fourth time lucky, fifth time lucky.
How's that for you?
There you go. You see, they just need a little twiddle in the middle, man.
That's why I love those screwdrivers. They came with that kit. One of these deals.
But you get there in the end. That's the main thing, man. Yeah, Coil Master kit. I've got that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is a knockoff of the original Coil Master. Actually bought it on Amazon. I think I caught it on a sale where they had a coupon on it. It was only like $30.
I could do with a new set of. I've had that since 2017. I think I bought mine. Still using the same thing. I was never keen on that that bloody little box there for burning them in. Like, I thought that was just poor.
Yeah, that was the cheapest that they could.
It was just all over.
That's why I went and ordered this Bushido one that I use all the time now.
Yeah. To be honest, I just use a mod most of the time. Like, if I really should get a one, to be honest with you.
There's nothing wrong with using a mod for it.
Oh, I know that, but you know, it's
like everything else. You reach a point in your hobby where it's like, okay, I want the finest of all the tools to make sure that I do it the easiest way possible.
It's just it's easier to build on as well, you know. Like, I haven't really got an actual build deck as such, to be quite honest with you. They're all more like holders or a mod as such, you know what I mean? There's nothing. It's something I need to get.
Something that I always wanted to get. Mike Vapes, you ever watch his reviews? He's got that wooden one that somebody built on a lathe.
Yeah.
And you can also buy ones. I really wanted to get one that was made of the plastic, the epoxy resin, with the blue swirl.
I've got one off a guy over here. His name slips us, but he made them out of pistons. You know, the old pistons out of.
Oh yeah, Vic has one.
Yeah, but he sent us one. I've got one of them. But where would I put it? I don't know at the moment. I've got one kicking about. You can probably make them out of anything, I suppose, as such, when you think about it. As long as you can get that thread put in.
Too tight. That was the one thing I didn't care for this one. Arbiter's so much easier to get the right amount of cotton down in. And it's so forgiving.
Yeah, you've got to thin them out a bit like. What's that one?
Quite a bit. To get it to fit without any issues.
That's what you find sometimes. You might have like 3 milli coils and you'll get your nice wick to go through the coil, but then when it comes to actually putting in the juice well, like you're like, oh shit, there's far too much.
And for somebody that doesn't know the Arbiter, if you do not wick or thin your wicks at all, it will actually choke out the flow of juice to the coils. The Arbiter requires a little bit of wicking, thinning the wick, to get the perfect thing. Not as much fiddling as this, but
I think
for those people that just literally pulled the cotton through and shoved it down in there, no, you're not going to get adequate wicking, depending on how much cotton you pulled through there.
I think with most modern tanks now, you kind of thin everything out anyway, didn't you? It was never a thing, mind, in the early days. You never thinned it out in the early days. You just dumped it in there.
Because they were trying to make it exactly like a dripper.
Yeah.
Back in the early days, if you thinned it, you could flood your deck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
That's not an issue for this now, because once you get it to the right density, and drop it down in there, the cotton expands once it gets wet.
That's right, yeah. It just fills up any little gaps. So it's like I say, I mean, a lot of coils and RDAs, you know, you do have to have a certain wicking technique for them to work, you know what I mean? Especially single coils and the likes of the
It looks like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed.
the Coiling.
To update your Wi-Fi information, go to the Alexa app.
Why is my Alexa just suddenly started to talk?
Well, she tried to connect in to let Amazon know what you were talking about on the live show, and she couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi, and now she's bitching.
Yeah. You're not getting on. Bugger off.
Yeah, lots of room in here. This is going to be perfect once it is saturated. This side is just a hair tighter, but it should still be fine. And to be honest, I could go a half mil shorter on the things because there is a little bit of a hump in here. But for all intents and purposes, 0.17.
17. Let me see here. Where are you?
In the Fat Rabbit, I'll probably run this at 65 to start, and in a day or so, it'll be at 70.
Wow. .17, cool is 76. Middle is 90. Warm is 103. Whoa.
Fat Rabbit is a good choice for this particular one. 200 ml bottle. Plenty of room to fill it.
Yeah. Hey, plus it's like them holes are huge anyway, so you can literally get anything you want in there.
Yes, they are massive.
It's not a bad vape when you get it running, you know. It's not a bad tank.
No, it has a wonderful vape to it. It's pretty close to the Arbiter, flavor-wise.
Yeah.
If you got the right coils in it and the right temperature.
That's right, yeah.
I wish this top was a little more secure. It's really loose and really easy to untwist.
Could be down with an O-ring, like if it sits on with an O-ring.
Yeah. But as big as this Fat Rabbit is, it needs a big, massive mod like this for it to look decent on.
Probably a tank that needs a bit of power through it as well, obviously by the size. Yes. It's like the same with the steam crate tanks, you know, you need a bit of juice to go through them to get the best out of them.
I like that. It's different. Go to 75, see what this... Yeah, it's a blue slushie, and the ice isn't so prominent that it actually is distracting. It's just a pleasant cooling sensation, and it allows me to run this at a much higher wattage than what I would normally run it at.
I've never been
There's a creamy aspect to this as well.
Very nice. There you go. Ready to rock and roll. Easy peasy.
I like it. I definitely need to swap out this drip tip, though. This is a stainless steel drip tip.
Ah, right.
Not good for your teeth. Conk. I've done that many a time.
You went to put a vape and you just misjudged it and you went clunk straight in your cough.
Yeah, when you got a Maryland bridge on the front, I've had since the high school when I did a flip off the front of a bicycle. Yeah.
No, it doesn't help. Or if you've got good teeth, it doesn't help either because it can knock them out.
Time to pull out some drip tips.
Oh, I bet you got a collection of them and I'll have you. He's got everything, this man. Do you know that? Let's have a quick look on chat there while he's sorting his salute a bit. Oh, look at him, man. He's, you know what I mean. Is there anything you haven't got? They look quite nice, actually.
And we got a selection and assortment to pick through.
5, 10,
Even though I lost my knife.
What are you like?
I have to use scissors.
They're pretty.
This was one of my purchases from China. 3A Vape or 3F Vape, one of the two.
Oh, they're pretty, like.
And look, you get to pick any color you want. And it's got the O-rings on it. So you can get a nice seal. Nice tight fit in there. Boy, that looks really good. And there's an assortment of colors to pick from.
That's a nice matchy that, you see, if you're OCD.
Yeah. And I think I only paid like $3 for this whole thing. If you go into a vape shop, they'll charge you $5 per drip tip.
Oh, easy.
In a vape shop. But they're going to sell it to you in an individual little plastic container. Whereas this one, $3, and I got myself 8 drip tips to choose from. Whatever color fancies your boat, it's perfect.
Really nice. Yeah, okay.
And it feels wonderful. This was way better, way improvement over the stainless steel that I had before. The bore's slightly narrower on this one than it is on this, but it makes this tank. And I'm actually going to continue using this Fat Rabbit on here with this e-liquid.
There you go. See, you got there in the end with that rabbit. I'll tell you what.
And it is something completely different. This is more of a summer liquid flavor, I would say. But thank you, Flavrz, One Shoc. I totally love this and appreciate this. And because of that ice in here, I'm finally able to run the Fat Rabbit at the temperature it needs to produce the best flavor.
There you go. Brilliant.
It shows all yours.
Actually, it's all yours.
All right, folks. I guess that wraps it up for today. We're going to sit here and chuck some clouds for a while.
Oh, yes.
Oh, is that fantastic?
It's not quite right when you've got a vape that hits the mark, is there? Just nothing beats it, is it?
Peace, love, and a hunky vape to end cigarette combustion. You all have a great day.
Again, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining us in chat. Again, you guys make this show worth doing. Ian, Alex, I don't know how he puts up with us, but you go. Thanks for having us, sir. And yeah, folks, same place, same time next week. So you all stay safe, vape safe, and we'll see you all then. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week again for a fresh round.